Hatutakuwa na nchi nyingine mpaka hii tuzime hii moto, watu waketi chini waendelee waliwane. William ndiye akanitafuta na mimi nikaongea na yeye wazi, nikamwambia shida iko hapa, hawa watu yako ambao umeweka pale hawajafanya kazi vile wananchi wanataka. Msuri ya kwamba watu waketi chini waongee. Akasikia, mimi hii cabinet nitatoa, nitawapeleka nyumbani. Nikasema hata hao makatibu ambao wako pale wako chafu yote.
Odinga further said the youth were protesting against genuine issues including the high cost of living, unemployment, persistent corruption, tribalism and heavy debt burden.
Magazeti hawa wanaandika sijui nini Raila na Ruto handshake, hakuna handshake. Kale tulisema, mimi niliongea na Ruto nikamwambia shida iko hapa. Wananchi wameudhika, ninaona hao sasa vijana wamejitokeza. Na vijana wakaniambia mimi, wewe baba kaa nyumbani, usitoke, umefanya ya kutosha. Wache sisi tuendelee. Sasa hawa vijana sio ndio wazimu. Nataka hii maneno yatutuliwe.
President William Ruto has continued to appeal for peace and to defend his so-called broad-based government during his regional tours. Speaking in Kisumu on Tuesday, Ruto said included opposition members in his cabinet to unite the country.
Na wasihi wananchi wa Kisii, nimesema jameni, tuungane, tushirikiane, sisi wote kama viongozi na wananchi, tuungane kwa sababu Waswahili wanasema umoja ni nguvu. Mnakubali tuungane jameni? Ndio mimi juzi nimetengeneza serikali ya kuunganisha Wakenya wote. Nimesema hakuna haja ya ukabila, hakuna haja ya sehemu, hakuna haja ya mirengo. Sisi wote tuungane kwa sababu sisi ni ndugu moja. Tumewekwa Kenya hii na Mungu na ni mapenzi ya Mungu sisi wote tufanye kazi kwa pamoja.
President Ruto's calls for unity were echoed by Kisii Governor Simbarati.
Tuweke tofauti yetu kando kidogo. Tufanye kazi na Mheshimiwa Rais kwa kipindi ambacho kimebaki, tuhakikishe kwamba maendeleo yamekuja kwa wananchi. Ama vipi? Si hivyo ndio hivyo? Mko tayari? Mko tayari? Kwa hivyo wewe tuachie hii eneo tupange hii maneno. Mheshimiwa Deputy President, unakaribishwa. Unakaribishwa, usiogope. Nyinyi kaa pamoja na Mheshimiwa Rais, lakini mkikoroga yeye pande ile nyingine, sisi kama ODM tuko tayari kutembea na yeye.
The Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, will convene a special sitting today for the hearing of charges against impeached Meru County Governor Kawira Mwangaza. In a special Gazette notice dated August 12, Kingi acknowledged that he had received a letter from the Speaker of the Meru County Assembly informing him of the approval of a motion for Mwangaza's removal from office by impeachment. Kingi said after the hearing, the Senate shall stand adjourned until September the 3rd in accordance with the Senate calendar. Mwangaza was last week impeached for the third time in 2 years on 3 counts: gross violation of the Constitution, gross misconduct and abuse of office. A bill to regulate the prices of essential commodities has been presented to the Senate. The Price Control Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by nominated Senator Tabitha Mutinda, aims to ensure that goods remain affordable for all Kenyans, especially low-income earners. Mutinda said the bill aims to prevent sudden price hikes in essential goods which could harm consumer purchasing power and overall welfare. If passed, the bill will empower the Finance Cabinet Secretary to prevent monopolies and oligopolies from using their dominant positions to artificially hike prices, protecting consumers who've limited alternatives. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has declared a public health emergency over the continent's growing mpox outbreak. Scientists from the Africa CDC say they are alarmed by the spread at which a new strain of the virus has been spreading. Since the beginning of the year, more than 13,700 cases and 450 deaths have been recorded in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The virus, which can cause lesions across the whole body, has spread to other African countries including Kenya, Burundi, the Central African Republic and Rwanda. That's the News Wire. I'm Edwin Lisamira.
To the point where they cannot take action. Then you realize that politicians have to come up and now start dealing with the issues.
That conversation has to die. Our politicians do not like the hard stuff. We must insist on the path of doing things right, whether popular or unpopular.
Money changes hands. That is a fact. If you have political goodwill at the highest top like in Rwanda, then corruption will be an issue of the past. If you don't have political goodwill at the top, we will pass laws, we will amend laws, we will continue passing laws and re-amending laws, and nothing will happen.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Good morning, and I love your show.
Thank you.
Having come from a Kikuyu radio background, I migrated to Spice because of the content.
I was born in a slum, but somehow I got a break in life. So sometimes when you see the sweating coming out because of the passion and whatever it is, behind the noise, there are people, and we share the same umbilical cord.
It shouldn't be like that. I am so disappointed. We used to tell Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga that he's doing politics of conmanship, and even President Uhuru Kenyatta, serikali hii ndio iko na conmanship ya hali ya juu. You cannot promise people that you reduce tax, then you double.
In politics, there is the issue of trust. For you to turn around and then stab the same people who gave you that trust, there is no other level of dishonesty. And hii mambo utaona dunia tu.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
Patrick Lodge, Otieno Lumumba. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
CT Muga.
CT Lodge. Muga, not Muga.
He is here, and here's the day's proverb.
One man marries a woman. Another man marries trouble. Is he the same man?
Spice.
A lion cannot eat more than 2 donkeys. It will die a natural death because there is no ICU in the forest. In Kenya, it has become the situation that you cannot conduct 2 elections. In fact,
with the same
Bukati,
IBC.
You can't.
I tell you about this Indian friend of mine who was enjoying other Indians in the group. He wrote the word valve and told them, read it.
So how did he say it? I really want to know.
The valve. Kina Ednah, it's like you said, the bees and the peas. Kila kitu mkisia kisema atasema opposite.
Opposite?
Ukisema yeye anasema opposite.
Opposite.
Ukisikiliza na mlai unasikia opposite.
The Situation Room, Spice, the only way to start your day.
Good morning. It is Wednesday. All right, what's happening where you are this morning? Let's take a quick look at the roads and see who might be stuck where, going where they will be going today. Not much happening. That folks are offloading right around Nakuru, so we'll know that traffic is there on Haile Selassie in and outbound. Landis Road is not looking too bad right about now. Off the thicker superhighway, traffic is flowing free, not a problem at all at any of your junctions, at least for now. Let's see what happens as we get into the morning proper. It's still early, but folks are getting where they need to go really quickly. Let's see what happens as we get to the top of traffic hour. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag the Situation Room.
This is the Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
It's the 14th, Abi. Huh?
Yes, it is.
August 14th, 2024.
August.
And here we are. Good morning.
Here we are.
10 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's still dark outside, but nonetheless, we are here. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well.
My throat has decided it's closing for duty.
Otherwise,
good morning.
Sawa. Hapa nje baridi imepungua.
Hapa ndani
baridi imeshika.
Man-made.
Yeah, this is man-made. Thing about the cold, I don't think it knows that it is man-made. It just knows that it's...
It just knows.
Najua tu character yake.
I'm supposed to be cold right now.
Yep, and I will continue being cold.
Hii bwana, lakini si fair. Si fair. Si fair.
Si mzuri. Nasumbua mwili.
Surely. Otherwise, mambo iko vipi? Welcome. You said it's 14th.
Yeah.
Leo hii
Ile siku
ni ile siku. Opiyo Wandai's first fuel hike.
One for the books. This will be fun.
Ndio hii, si ndio? Very good. Inasiri na Yesu. Ednah, do like that, bwana. Yeah, so that we can do like that. Like that. On this Wednesday, the 14th of August, karibuni sana everybody to Kenya's biggest conversation. We will have several things to discuss today, among them being the border insecurity, the heavy task of awaiting the Interior CS. The heavy task that he left when he got fired, the heavy task that he left when he got reappointed.
He got rehired.
Okay. Dido Raso is the MP for Sako constituency in Marsabit County. Now, as we are talking about this, there's a story that is in the news. I read it last night. Some people were attacked. They were driving a lorry from Marsabit going towards Mandera. They were attacked. And their bodies were set aflame.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that. Horrible.
Imagine.
It's horrible to see.
Unknown people came, gunned them, killed them, torched them.
The lorry had goods in it.
I don't
Details are not given.
I don't know. I don't know those details.
But the vehicle was not touched.
Yeah.
Just the people.
And the people vanished. So anyway, Dido Raso is an MP for Saku. It's in Marsabit County. And I'm sure he has heard a couple of details about this. So he'll come and give us the details about this. And then he'll tell us. So this is the insecurity we are talking about. The border between Kenya and Ethiopia is still insecure. What does Kithure Kindiki do about it? He will come. The MP, he'll tell us what he's asking there. CS. 8 a.m. we will introduce you to the new group CEO of the Standard Group PLC. Her name is Marion Mwangi. She will come and give us her journey to where she has gotten to now. And then also, of course, she'll talk about the business. She'll talk about the business environment in Kenya, in the countries that she's worked in, her experience in that, and how businesses can navigate this environment, including the media industry. How to navigate this industry, the musings of a working woman. At 9 o'clock, we'll be having a conversation about the future of urban mobility, how Eden Cabs is revolutionizing the taxi industry. So there's a new cab industry called Eden. And Nelson Kisiangani is the Chief Technology Officer, and Michelle Laura Mwangi is the Business Development Officer at this company. Both of them join us at 9 a.m. Let's hear, okay? So mambo this ride-hailing apps has brought issues, eh? There are those that are saying, when you get into a cab, they give you a board and tell you, have you heard about our new prices?
And if you refuse to pay the new prices, they put you on the radar and your number, and they say this person has refused to pay, so decline a request from them.
It's crazy. I've had some incidences where they even refuse to let you leave the car, so they've put child lock in the vehicle. Some of those thugs.
Goodness.
Put child lock in the vehicle. Lipai. Apana, the app is telling me this is how much I'm paying. Si mimi nakushow.
Si mimi nikuleta.
Unalipa hii. Oh, they refuse to open the door for you.
It's criminality.
Crazy. It's madness. Anyway, Eden Cabs is saying, us guys are different.
Okay.
They'll come and tell us how different they are. It's 6:15. We are live streaming the show on Tweet
on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook. We are also live on all digital platforms across the globe. So let's take a look at the weather forecast and say hello to you shortly.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Good news. Good news for the soccer lovers across Kenya. Very soon your lifestyle will never be the same. Crazy, crazy memories of the lively football matches.
Happening everywhere.
Introducing the new season of the English Premier League football matches.
Another gem of a goal!
Starting on the 16th of August 2024, exclusively on SpiceFM. Catch the upscaled, heart-throbbing season's football commentaries from the ever-zealous soccer commentators and presenters. EPL, Soka Katambe, only on Spice FM.
The weather with Spice FM.
Partly cloudy conditions at 13 in Nairobi. We'll see highs of 25 and lows of 12. 13 will be the low in a partly cloudy Nakuru, going to highs of 24, and we'll see highs of 21 in a mostly cloudy Nyeri at 14. It's clear at 12 in Eldoret with highs of 23, and we'll see highs of 29 in a partly cloudy Mombasa at 22. 23 and cloudy in Malindi with highs of 30, and at 19 Kisumu is clear with highs of 29 and lows of 19. It's 17 and clear in Kakamega. We'll see highs of 28 and lows of 16. Mostly cloudy conditions at 18 in Kampala with highs of 29, and we'll see highs of 29 in a partly cloudy Dar es Salaam at 24. Johannesburg is cloudy at 13. We'll see highs of 19 and lows of 6. And at 25, it's sunny in Mogadishu with highs of 29. 12 degrees and mostly cloudy in Addis Ababa with highs of 20 and lows of 11. Looking into a cloudy Lagos at 25 with highs of 30, and we'll see highs of 32 in a mostly clear Kinshasa at 22. Tuesday afternoon at 30 in Beijing, highs of 31 and lows of 24. Paris is cloudy at 21 with highs of 26. And at 19, it's raining this morning in London, highs of 26 and lows of 15. And around things off in New York, where Tuesday night is clear at 22. Coming into Wednesday, highs of 27 and lows of 20.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Hi, Abasi.
Takulandirani Ndu, we missed you. Well, thank you, Don Sabwa. Good morning to you.
So what does Takulandirani mean?
It just sounds nice. It sounds exotic. So I'm just going to decide that it's...
Tutakula. Kwa jirani.
Hapana. Takulandirani. Drani. I've decided that it's something nice. So
well,
just
actually,
sounds nice.
You know, that guess sounds really, really, really clever.
Isn't it? Tutakula kwa jirani.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys were also sweet yesterday. Thank you for all coming back. It's really nice. Peter Kiari says, good morning team, Mombasa to Kondani. Welcome back, boss lady bossing. Omonde Ademo says, listening from Rongo in Migori County. Good morning, good people. Watching live from Dallas in Texas. Evans and Tabo says, good morning. Ndu City, Eric and Nyaboke. Waiting for Mambo Moto. Simon Mweho says, good morning, Spice family. Good to be part of the big family listening to the biggest conversation. Indeed. Karibu Sana. Good morning, team. Sir George Gashoridi says, good morning to everybody. Manchester, Eco Locked and looking forward to a great show. Thank you for being here every morning. Nice to see you back. People's Power, indeed. Gerald Taiti, good morning to you. Tuned in from Jeffersonville in Georgia. Aisha Rashid says, good morning. Yes, good to be here. Robert Mbogo is also greeting and saying good morning. Chris Maura is in the room. Linus Gitonga. Mao Witi says, good morning. Desmond Otis is here. To send to me something small, I'd tell you what City and Latiff said while you were away. Can you see bribery and corruption at 6:20 in the morning?
No, it's called inducement.
Madam, thank you very much. Kenneth Bushnell is also here. George Kojo, good morning to you. Tibbs Muga is saying, update your Windows operating system. What's wrong? Okay, sawa. Carol Nyambura loves us, and we love you too, Carol. Mbiru Rohingya is greeting us from South Africa. And Bernard Okello is wishing us all a wonderful day ahead. Fortune says, good morning, grab the blue band. What does that mean? Good morning, guys. Watching from Doha, Anwar Omar. David Danson says, good morning. Good morning, watu wote na viumbe vyote. Hey.
Awaye yote.
Awayu yote.
Sifu Mungu.
I know that song. I heard it actually before I even came here. Bernardo Kello says, good morning, Dankeschön from Doha. Dr. Venvik is also here this morning. Good morning, it's noon in Sydney. Good morning, Spice team, watching from Bristol in the UK, says Faith. Mashari and Jerry is also here this morning. Everybody is here. So people are saying I should drink hot water and lemon and CT's concoction. I'm on it. Looking forward to a good day. We see you guys, even though I didn't mention your name. We see you. Thank you very much.
Yes. City. The Central African Republic, right?
Yes, the Central African Republic of the Republic of Central Africa. Yes. Sasa right, hii kitu ni mzuri sana. Wacha tuangalie proverb. Okay. We've heard this proverb before, but I like it.
From the same country or from a different
Same country. I like it, so I'm repeating it.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
But I have another one, but this one I just had to repeat because I really like it. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Thank you so much. If the sun claims it has power over the moon, let it shine at night. I thought I would just repeat this one.
If the sun claims it has power over the moon, let it shine at night.
Yes.
They don't know that that's the sun that's shining at night.
That the moon is able to shine.
Inakuwaga namna hiyo, si ndio? Si maisha inakuwaga namna hiyo.
Lakini also, you might have your power, but come and try and do what I do where I do it.
In my backyard.
That's right.
And see how yours works, because you seem to be clever.
You seem to be clever.
You come and shine at night and see how clever you are at night.
All right.
Yensawa. Well done.
Headline, Basi.
Front page of the Standard today. Uhuru hand in Ruto-Raila cabinet deal. Come on, man. Okay, Sawa. In spite of saying President William Ruto was the one who sought a deal between government and opposition, Raila Odinga yesterday claimed it was former President Uhuru Kenyatta who intervened to, quote-unquote, save the country. When the country was burning, Uhuru called me and told me to talk with Ruto for the country's sake. I believe in dialogue because it is the only way that we can save our country. I was ready to dialogue with Ruto because he is my friend.
So Uhuru is playing, so according to Raila, Uhuru is like save the country. According to those in government, Uhuru was like burn the country. His people. Can they just decide?
Make up your mind.
Which one is it? Save, burn?
Is it burn to save or save to burn? Which one is it?
C'est la question, no?
Gachagua will also say Uhuru actually told him, let's save this country.
Save the country.
Yes. So Gachagua and Raila now on same WhatsApp group.
Yes, you go. And there's a lovely picture here of Raila Odinga sitting with Kapsaret MP Oscar Sudi during the burial of Mzee Chirchir Masit at Sitotwo in Elgeyo Marakwet County. Yesterday, Masit was the father of former IEBC Commissioner Irene Masit. So they're having a light chat there. Take that as you want. MPs in new plot to cut Gachagua down to size. You just mentioned his name. MPs have decided no.
Cut him
too
to
big
size.
For his britches.
Jumwa
in court over 215 million property debt. Which Jumwa, you ask? Things looked all rosy when former Cabinet Secretary Aisha Jumwa approached a house owner in Nairobi's Karen and agreed to buy the 250 million shilling property. However, she defaulted on 60 million shillings and the owner wants her compelled to pay. Ruto hints at a return of aspects of finance bill. The chickens are coming home to what? The president yesterday challenged MPs to pass tax laws when they are presented in the House so that revenue can be generated to start or complete development projects. Okay. Africa CDC now says that Mpox is an emergency. Yeah. Okay. Kengen eyes power storage facility. Store it somewhere so you can use it later, essentially, because a lot of it has been going to what? Waste. On the front page of The Nation, you are on your own over high power bills. Kenyans will have to dig deeper into their pockets to purchase electricity. The National Assembly last year launched an investigation into the high cost of power and tasked a committee chaired by Mwala MP Vincent Musyoka to present a report in 120 days on how to cushion customers. However, 120 days have passed and there's no clear roadmap on how to bring down power prices. So one would ask, what did they do? Keep asking. Okay, it's a memorial. The death of Bishop Muga, Moi drama and row over Kenyatta Memorial. 1990 is the year that the fiery cleric Alexander Muga died in a suspicious road accident near Cape Karen River along the Webuye-Eldoret border. Looking at the tickers, politics, Ruto, Gachagua allies plan separate meetings. Okay, so that doesn't end. NHIF warning to patients with chronic illnesses. If you're sick, don't come here, essentially, is what they're telling you. And state moves to forestall looming teachers' strike. Labour CS Alfred Mutua seeks KNUT leaders regarding implementation of Phase 2 of the 2021-2025 CBA.
Yay.
Let's see.
Very good. The Business Daily. Bank loans shrink by 200 billion shillings as interest rates soar. Now, this is today's paper, isn't it? Yes, it is. Commercial Bank's loan book shrank by about 200 billion shillings in the 5 months to June as potential borrowers held back due to high interest rates and an appreciating shilling devalued dollar-denominated loans. Yeah. But banks are still making a what? A profit. Why? Because they're lending to the government. At how much? At 16 to 18%. Is that good business or bad business?
For the banks, it's very good business. And for the country also, because they're borrowing shillings and returning in shillings.
Returning in shillings at 18%.
Shillings. Shillings.
Yeah, at 18%.
Yep.
The currency is not appreciating by 18%. Anyway, let's go. Public servants to be allowed transfer of pension on exit. So public servants will be allowed to transfer accrued pension benefits from the Public Service Superannuation Fund to a plan of their choice upon their exit in proposed changes that seek to make the scheme portable. Okay? This happens in the private sector. Now it's going to happen in the public sector. There's a feature in the life inner pages of the Business Daily, why flat roof homes are the latest fad. Kila mtu ukienda anajenga nyumba nini?
Flat roof.
Flat roof. And they're talking to EcoBuild Africa founder Alfred Omenya on this particular matter. They've also featured another engineer here. Every Christmas and New Year season, when the UAP towers light up in celebration, there is one man's heart that goes into jubilation. That man is Muhoroi Kondo, whose company, Norcon Intex Limited, did the electrical engineering at the iconic building at Nairobi's Upper Hill. So I've met this engineer. He's called Muhoroi Kondo. You see the UAP towers, the way it lights up throughout, those lights. That company is one that has done those ones. You see also the new one, GTC Complex in Westlands, also the one. You see the Morven Peak Hotel in Nairobi.
Yep.
Also the one. You see Kigali Logistics Platform in Rwanda. Also the one. You see UAP Equatorial Tower in Juba, South Sudan, that lights up at night. Also the one. You see Thika Greens Golf Estate. Also the one. He's an engineer.
Yeah.
Engineer. City?
Yes, please.
Last star.
Star. Ice. Top right hand corner in teal green. This is not good news. A place near Gilgil called Mbaruk.
Yes.
There was a head-on collision. Someone trying to overtake. The usual thing. The car's on the right side, but the guy was trying to overtake him head-on. Boop, boop. A mother and 4 sons die.
Wow.
On the spot.
Wow.
This is grisly, horrible.
Mother and her 4
When
children. Yesterday.
Dead. Which means if you look at the wreckage, you realize that these cars were traveling, the car was traveling at a very high speed.
It was overtaking, and those ones where you assume, I'm driving a fast car. It's a big engine.
I
it's
can
German.
just zoop. And the person is keeping to their lane.
Truck is coming.
You are going your merry way at 7 a.m. and then this happens. Catches you off guard. One moment you're driving with your 4 sons, then all dead plus you.
Oh, yeah.
The person who caused the accident is still in hospital in critical condition.
Oh, yeah.
These and anyway. Chandaria to rule book to lighten tense palace mood. This is a story of Manu Chandaria, businessman, philanthropist, and how it is. He uses good judgment at Buckingham Palace to lighten the mood when he struck a conversation with Queen Elizabeth II, the late Queen Elizabeth, and started talk to her about the time when she was in Kenya. Yes. I want you to imagine, sir. What you're doing, Queen.
What are you doing, Queen? What are you doing?
Queen.
I make tissue.
It's Queen.
I make Sophoria.
I show you.
I show you.
I show you.
And Queen figures, this guy is funny.
You know when you wipe tissue, by Sophoria.
Good for you, Manu. Okay. Kenyan cops free from persecution in Haiti mission. The stories of Kenyan police officers deployed in the UN mission to Haiti will not be prosecuted for misconduct, meaning do they know what they're doing, these guys?
I see.
I'm reading.
That's very good.
Yes.
That's very
The
good.
Star can conclusively,
They do what?
exclusively. If they misbehave, misconduct, they will not be prosecuted.
Okay.
Okay? They will not pay taxes and the amenities cover them even after the mission. Meaning, when they leave the mission, you can't follow them and say, while you were in Haiti, this is what you did.
No ICC.
No ICC for you.
What's good for the goose?
It's good for the chicken.
So we can take the view that why this is happening, that squad that disappears people, is that which was taken there. And they told, okay, guys, open season here.
Do you?
Please.
Do you?
This thing of,
it's open field.
Open field, Kwendelea. National Cancer Institute on spot over expenditure. The National Cancer Institute managers are on the spot for failing to account for over 200 million expenditure. An audit has flagged instances when management disregarded the laws in spending funds.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Bang in the middle of the paper, Kenya First, Ruto, then DP, criticizes boss in 2018 for working with Raila.
Oh, Lord.
Is that not so? All right. Now, I am right to work with Raila. Ruto fires back at his critics.
Do they not get dizzy? Don't they get dizzy? Like, it's a head spin.
Sometimes the president says the country's interest supersedes others.
Oh, really?
Right. There come a time.
There come a time.
Yes.
So during those nusumkate days of handshake, iliharibu Kenya kabisa. It was not in the country's interests. Now
it's in the country's interest. Yes.
One must ask.
Yes.
Should there ever be a time where anything is not in the country's interest?
No.
Yeah.
For goodness sake.
Yeah. When young people are making noise and not passing the finance bill, that is not.
That is not in the country's interest.
Because now the people of Nyamira and Kisii cannot get power and roads done because
finance bill. Yeah, noise stopped the power from getting to Nyamira. Is that not so?
Yeah.
Well, these are things that only happen in Kenya. Did we look at the Business Daily?
Yes, we did.
All right.
Tell us about the People Daily.
People Daily. All right. Fake insurance claim sent Kenyatta Hospital to ICU. This is according to bang in the middle of the paper of the People Daily.
The top middle corner.
Yeah, you're top kabisa. Bang in the middle, the sweet deal ends up in 2.2 billion tears. Yani the tears, the loan were worth 2.2.
That equals to 2.4
billion. Police search for online trader alleged to have duped teachers, bishops, lecturers, and lawyers with their earnings. What does this tell you about us?
This story is quite. Is it the Eldoret one?
Yeah.
The guy goes to church, and the church leadership says this Jama knows online trading very well.
And I love you, son.
Put money, and you will get money.
see.
It will grow at 18% interest. Same government, same guy, same government. Okay. People put money.
Bishop, church leader has said.
Church leader has said.
Church leader is not an expert on money business matters, for heaven's sake, people.
But it's for heaven's sake. Say Akube Karibu.
It's heaven's sake.
Unajua, you must distinguish. Area of speciality is not money.
We believed in our bishop and gave him the green light to invest our church money in the online trading company in hope of reaping big profits after 6 months. Si wangoja tu 6 months tu.
Haijaisha. So sasa kelele nini?
Hakuna haja kupiga kelele. And anyway, what they don't get here
comes with multiples.
Bishops alisimamia. Watapata wakienda mbinguni.
Ni pesa ya kanisa ilienda. 24 minutes to 7. Tell us about traffic.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your
What? My head is aching, shoulders paining, and it's like I'm adding weight very fast. Now, by the way, see, I thought you are... No, I know what you are thinking. Now, when you haven't heard about Aga Khan Hospital, they have a wellness program.
Aga Khan University Hospital has made medical checkups more available through their subsidized wellness package at 9,950 for a comprehensive medical checkup. Don't wait for a health scare. Do your health check at the Aga Khan University Hospital clinics in your neighborhood today. Get your vitals checked today. Call 0111 011 888 for more information.
Hey, baba boy, gas imeisha, shopping imeisha, na ujue tokens bado zinalia.
Msupa, nipe mbao na 20 minutes.
Mbao, like 20 bob. 20 minutes, kwani kuna nini? Na ujue mimi nataka kupika haki.
Jaber, kwani ujui dakika mamilini every 20 minutes, halafu wanapea na 10 million every 20 minutes, na hadi kuna 3 millionaires every hour.
Daka mamili virahisi. Uko na nafasi 3 ya kuwa millionaire kila hour. Usipitwe. Cheza Daka. Ushike mita yako sasa. Chagua nambari zako 4 za bahati and win up to 10 million every 20 minutes. Nenda kwenye paybill 440440. Account Spice amount. Cheza na shilingi 20 hadi shilingi 2,000 na ushinde mamilioni. Daka mita. Kuwa bingwa.
There is traffic coming on the Thika Superhighway this morning. It's coming in hot all the way towards the junction that will take you towards Murang'a Road or Wangari Maathai. It's not looking too bad on Murang'a Road, but we're already seeing signs of traffic starting to clog up at the Globe Cinema roundabout, so just keep an eye out for that. If you're heading in that direction, you know, now it's not too bad of a time, but later definitely will clog up. Taking a look at the crossover between Enterprise Road and Likoni Road, there might be some traffic there that's starting to build as you then find your way through towards Lusaka. But these are the go-to routes for folks who are trying to get into the city real quick. Kangunda Road is busy, coming inbound towards Outer Ring. And as you cross over through towards Komarok and out to Ring towards the Thika Superhighway, we're going to see some traffic start to build up here. On the North Airport Road, heading towards Cabanas, not too bad. And then spilling over towards Mombasa Road. Ngong Road also starting to build, but not too bad for now. Coming into Westlands, it's all looking hunky-dory. Let's see what happens as we get towards traffic hour. In the meantime, do tell. SpiceFM KE on X. Hashtag The Situation Room.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Let me start.
Please.
This story of the online guy. Meet the online trader behind 2.4 billion shillings fraud scheme. Hundreds of victims were allegedly conned by an online trader of over 2.4 billion yesterday thronged Eldoret Central Police Station to record their statement as detectives continue with investigations. So DCI sent people from headquarters to record statements from these victims. The victims in their statements indicate how they were defrauded and the amount of money they lost to Ambrose Makech Abuti. Makech, who's now a wanted man by the police detectives, is said to have established an online company named Springmark Investment Limited in Eldoret Town 5 years ago. Some of the fraud victims who travelled from as far as Trans Nzoia, Kapsoar Town in Elgeyo Marakwet, and Kabarnet Town in Baringo County started lining up at the Eldoret DCI offices as early as 8:30 a.m. One of the victims recounted how the bishop lured the church members out of 100 million shillings to invest in the online company with a promise of good returns. Talking to the press after recording her statement, she said that their bishop even introduced Makech in the church during morning service early this year. We believed in our bishop and we gave him the green light to invest our church money in the online trading company in the hope of reaping big profits after 6 months and for personal investment. Another pastor whose church is based in Kisumu Estate along Eldoret Etan Road claimed that members of his church lost more than 150 million shillings. A lawyer friend of mine in Eldoret town introduced me to this online investment and I shared the message with my church members. Little did I know it was a fraud. A senior officer who declined to be named told the People Daily that they have so far recorded statements from over 100 victims, among them university dons, primary and secondary school teachers. As you can see, more people are still flocking in to record their statements, and this is why we have directed the victim to get into groups of 20 so that we speed up the process. Mujipange watu 20 tutachukua statement ya watu 20. Sawa? Sa muko wengi. Muko wengi. The aggrieved investors are counting their losses after the suspected online trader disappeared with their money, which is suspected to be about 2.4 billion shillings. Ngoja usikie story. William Getumbe, an artist who lost $1 million bob to the trader, said they'll be holding protests every day. The artist claims that they were promised monthly interest rate of 18% with a chance to withdraw the funds after 6 months. So you put in money, it's a lock-in account, 6 months, it's accruing 18% every month. Okay?
Every month?
No, not 18, I don't know.
What?
Interest rate, monthly, yes. Monthly interest of 18%. Okay? After 6 months, you can start withdrawing. Sawa? Sawa? It's a unit trust. The artist claimed that they were the promise of high returns that's cause of people, including bishops and their members, rush to borrow loans and invest in this botched online company. Another victim, Charles Kiplangat, said he invested 3 million shillings in the company, adding that he has now been reduced to a beggar after his 2 children dropped out of school due to lack of school fees. The 3 million I invested in the online company was proceeds from the maize which my wife and I sold to the millers. I don't know where to turn for help because even the police have become helpless.
Okay.
Ask your questions. Number 1.
Sio sadaka alichukua alipeleka mahali.
Ni watu.
Okay, so he told people, bring money, we are going to put it in this online thing and it will work, Abi?
Yep.
People brought their money, 1,500,000, 200,000, and gave the pastor. Pastor said, I have seen.
Not pastor. Trader.
Trader is different from the...
Trader is different from pastor.
Okay.
Pastor is just... Pastor had met this guy.
Facilitator.
He facilitated the guy.
The guy was like, actually, let me take him to my congregants. And he said, congregants, yes, praise the Lord, amen. I have met this man. He has a good business. I say, you can invest. So when people hear pastor saying, and then the guy came and he even stood up and explained the business in front of the church, that's how people did it. But his company is different from church.
Okay.
That's why even pastors and bishops have also put in their money. 150 million shillings from this church in Kisumu. Gone.
Honestly speaking, where is the trader today?
Police don't know.
Is that they don't know?
Police don't know where he is.
Okay.
They're looking for him.
Okay. They can't find him till today. Meanwhile, bodies were dumped in quarry. And within 24 hours, they down to where this gentleman was with, I don't know, 42 SIM cards and I don't know, 100 and something phones and IDs, 42. All, they don't know where he is.
This guy will be caught.
Okay, so
This one will be caught.
But I have
the
a
money
question.
though. This is not the when you hear of all these Ponzi schemes, and because they go the same way. This one, he's just using the name online. Other Ponzi schemes use different names and other words to
Meanwhile,
say.
there's no online anything.
Yeah. Someone else comes and says, you know, we are doing, it's a circle, we are buying land and selling, and it's Ponzi. Ponzi. But every time, you'll hear somebody who says that they received some money.
There always is.
There's always going to be somebody who says, I actually put in money, and it was accruing interest because after 6 months I went and withdrew my money. and then I reinvested.
But what
and
is
after
the
a while,
problem?
I withdrew.
Why? What? I don't know. The application of common sense just seems
Do you know how Ponzi
be
scheme
lost.
works?
I understand because for some reason the first few people benefit.
You actually make money.
You actually make money, and you see something.
And
coming
if you
out of
stop
it.
there, you've made money.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
But the
then now-
lure is for you to keep
putting it in.
You see, it's not even about common sense. Right now, there are very many people who are doing those investments. Online trading companies, there are many.
That are actually illegit.
Even some that are legit. But you see, you do not understand the online business. You just
Neither does your bishop.
Yeah, you just see a company and decides that we are investing.
It's not the area of expertise. They are registered organizations and companies. Some are insurance, some are banks. This is their business. This is what they do. You know where they are, you know who they are, and they even tell you how to get hold of them. Okay? They do the same thing. Not Ponzi. They tell you, if you give us this money, we will give you this return. Okay? And they belong to entities that are actually regulated. The authorities that regulate these things. Okay? Now, what I fail to understand is there are all these institutions that exist and they tell you what they can do for you, and you can visit them, you can actually see them.
Yeah.
But you choose
to go to the one that's...
First of all, it's online. It's not an online service that an entity, a terrestrial entity is offering. No, they are online.
There is no physical office, whatever.
No,
People...
the guy has an office.
They usually have an office.
There's an office.
But go and look for that office after
you've paid your money.
Go and look for that office.
The wall has been painted over.
You know the story we're hearing that emanated from the same region about children going to school and scholarship. It didn't start then.
No.
This is what Eric was saying. These things have been ongoing. Some are quieter because the amounts involved are small and people don't want to talk about it. This one involves congregations. That's why it's out in the open.
You know, another thing, though, is that the lure of speed for profit, or profit for speed in a very short period of time, high profit, because that's why I asked you that question, to 18% per month. Who's going to give you that? Every month, 18% on what you've put in.
If you're trading online.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's still a desire for this, get money and get it quickly and loads of it.
You know, by the way, I'm keeping quiet because it's not necessarily that it's greed or anything. If you think about whatever kind of business you're venturing into, right?
Greed, it is, but the guy who's doing it is greed.
The guy who's doing it is playing the con game. He's playing the con game. The people who are investing, you're investing because you're seeing it's an investment.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No.
You're investing because you're seeing it's an investment. Okay, it's 18% per month, all right. So the people are going to pay, okay, it's online business. You know, this guy will most definitely even have come to explain, this is what we do. We take this money, we go buy dollars here, we go buy gold here, we go and trade here, we go and do the other, this and the other. That's what they tell you. It's the same thing that even the other regulated online trading businesses are going to tell you. Only that they may not give you an 18% guarantee.
Right.
They may give you a lower percentage, 10%, 14%, whatever percent. Even the ones that will give you 18% per annum. Because there are some that are even now in existence that you put in money, they're telling you 15% per annum. But I'm going to pay you back the money in about, 6 months' time?
What?
And they say, we are taking the money, we are pooling money, we are investing in this. We are pulling money, we are investing in the other. You look at it and you say, okay, it makes sense, so let me put in money.
And then it turns out to be a...
Yeah.
And then you wonder why, the mental health issues, people have lost it.
Yeah.
Where?
Due diligence is a very difficult thing to do because sometimes the thing is very well presented. That your due diligence, you even look and see, okay, yeah, there are other companies, yes, in fact, this one has a website, yes, in fact, they're showing, yes, in fact, you can go, you even download an app, yeah, you're seeing the graph, yeah.
Hey, but man, if somebody comes and says every month you get 18%, where?
You know, what Erica said, given the hard economic times, it is unfortunate, but it's at such times that people allow the faculties they have within them that tend towards magic thinking to actually get full. Yeah, because you are seeing something that will bring an end to your problems. That's what you're seeing. And when you're thinking in that manner, you don't actually think of what if it goes wrong. That doesn't feature. And if it features, it does not feature prominently. And there are people who are experts at praying on people when they are in it's their area of expertise.
They know what to say.
Yes, how to present it, okay, and even give examples. Some are so clever, they'll even bring you people who tell you, this is what I did, and this is how I gained. And by the way, it may not be a false testimony.
It's real.
Yes, because I can't imagine that all these people in the church get pulled in and some didn't bother to do due diligence. Some must have done due diligence and asked, but this, and then you figure, actually, it looks like it's okay.
Crazy.
Okay, but your bishop is not a finance expert. Okay?
Yeah.
Or the pastor or the prophet or whoever. They are not financial experts. Right.
Bishops are not political experts either.
No.
But politicians come because the bishop has said, yes, you vote for them.
Actually, Eric, bishops are political experts. There is one sphere where politics reigns supreme. It's in the church.
Yes. So bishops are also experts in hope. What did you say people are investing in city?
They are investing in hope.
Yes.
Hapo bro, umenipata? Umenyamaza? Na tunafuta gazeti ya Star, niangalie story hapa. Okay? Sio ni mzuri? Niangalie story, I'll look at the story of the National Cancer Institute. This is still on page 7, okay? Now, the management fails to explain 200 million expenses. The million here is shillings.
Oh, okay.
Okay? National Cancer Institute of Kenya. Okay? There's an NIH in the abroad, like in the Kenya. Managers are on the spot after failing to account for expenditures amounting to more than 200 million Kenya shillings. A new audit has flagged several instances where the institute's management disregarded the law in spending public funds. Okay? NCI Kenya, created by an act of parliament in 2012 to, among others, advise the health cabinet secretary on matters relating to the treatment and care of persons with cancer. The Auditor General, Nancy Gathungu, is at it again, is an adverse opinion on the institute spending. Said expenses to the tune of 161 million were unsupported, meaning there is nothing that indicates how and why and which and whatever this money was spent. Okay? The problem with this is this, Every time you hear of this sort of monies and you realize that the monies existed for them to have been expended, you then juxtapose it with the healthcare provision that is supposed to be aligned to that money. And that money then represents the losses, the things that should have been done that probably were not done. Because if they say unsupported, it means you trace the money, yes, but you can't trace the landing point.
Yeah.
You can't say this is where it went. So that, because if you know that's where it went, the conversation changes and you can say, was this really the right amount for it? But you can see where it landed. Now, when 200 million doesn't have a landing pad, then it becomes a bit of a problem, a spot of bother, as a friend of mine used to say.
But it's an audit query, right?
Kubwa. 200 million audit query,
Sikidogo.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me tell you how former President Uhuru Kenyatta is supposedly involved in these talks with, and how everything's happened.
Okay.
Now, former President Uhuru Kenyatta asked opposition chief Raila Odinga to dialogue with President William Ruto at the height of chaos. Rather, at the height of the chaotic Gen Z protests, according to this story. And this was revealed yesterday by Raila Odinga. Excuse me. Now, Raila said Uhuru called him to in the wake of the deadly demos and requested that he speak to President Ruto and find a way of calming the youth.
Okay.
You follow me so far?
So Uhuru calls Raila.
No.
Tells Raila.
Yeah.
Talk to Ruto.
Talk to Ruto so that this thing Now, speaking for the first time since the formation of the broad-based government, Raila said the country was burning and he stepped in to quell tensions. Sasa, he was working in the background. He said he believed that dialogue would save the country from plunging into more chaos. He spoke during the burial of Irene Masit's father, Mzee Chirchir Masit, in Elgeyo Marakwet. He said before he called Ruto, the president was already looking for him. Sasa walikuwa wanatafutana. I don't know where they were looking. So while he was looking for him, he was also looking for him. So I don't know who picked up the phone first, but all the same, they spoke.
Okay.
At the same time, Raila insisted that the broad-based government was not a handshake. He's saying, Sasa, it's not a handshake. It's just, expanding the government so it can be what? broad-based. He said, I believe in dialogue because it is the only way that we can save our country. I was ready to dialogue with William Ruto because he's what? He's my friend. Raila also called for the unity of the country while complimenting Gen Z as true patriots. He said during his meeting with Ruto, he told him about the challenges ailing the country that necessitated the Gen Z demos. That's because, Ruto didn't know. So Raila had to tell him that these are the problems the country is facing, and this is the reason why Gen Z went to the streets. Otherwise,
and the solution is 001.
001 to come into mining.
Yes.
Otherwise, things are not okay.
Yeah.
Now he said, Kenya Kenya must move forward. The Gen Z are Kenyans like us. They are raising the same issues we raised before. They are true patriots. These are not mad people. He said the youth were protesting about genuine issues including the high cost of living, unemployment, persistent corruption, tribalism, and heavy debt burden. He said the youth were infuriated by police brutality meted out on them and the extravagance and opulence displayed by Ruto's allies. So one would assume that when he was having this tete-a-tete with Ruto, that he told him these things. See, just be yourself. He said, we are all Kenyans. All of us have various tribes. Let us not discriminate against anyone on account of our tribes. He added that all leaders should be at the forefront of championing a unified country. What we are seeking is unity. And I am seeking the AU chairmanship, and I do not want to go there when my country is divided.
Okay.
And so
since we're talking unity, we now also want to unify the continent.
I mean, it only goes to say, you unify here, you unify there, unify everywhere.
Unity is all good and well, but at what expense?
So what is Raila saying? So Raila is saying that he reached out to Ruto.
So you see,
and Ruto was reaching out to him, and they agreed, let's form this broad-based government.
And William Ruto
to
did
sort
not
out
know
the issues of the youth.
He did not know the problems that the youth were complaining about, so he had to go and tell him, this is the issue.
This is the issue.
Yeah.
And he also said, now then, what your ministers, I've seen elsewhere, your ministers, the people that you have in your government are the ones who have failed you.
Yeah, because opulence and arrogance.
You need to bring in new people. Yeah. Okay? And so Raila is now saying that, he told Ruto, you need to bring in new people. I can give you some people. I can give
you some guys.
But Raila has elsewhere said that the people who have joined government, it's not because of him.
Yeah.
It is Ruto who basically just spoke to him directly. He was not involved.
Sasa, where are you bringing problems? Yesterday was Tuesday. He said it on a Tuesday. That other thing he didn't say on a Tuesday.
But even Eric, even you, surely, okay? When he said that, had he mentioned what Uhuru had told him? No.
We had not talked about Uhuru.
Yes,
this is the different dimension we are bringing.
So now there's a new dimension.
Yes, it's called dimension, bro.
You have to be more broad-based dimension.
Exactly. Why
Sasa, where you're bringing old stories and trying to...
You've been told. They went on their own. That was the other day.
And
now
the president did not know the problem.
Yes. And also in this mix, Eric, there's something you're not understanding. There was a merry-go-round of musical chairs of looking for each other. Someone was looking for another one.
He was looking for me, I was looking for him. I didn't know.
You know that changes everything.
Right.
Yes.
Had he found him earlier,
all this thing would have been
that
different.
We have left to be told now, had they found each other earlier, labda your protest ingefika mahali ilifika.
Yes. And all along at the back of all this thing was a matter of dialogue, a very important thing. Yes.
And unify
and bring the country together.
So that I can unify the
How is it that this morning you're not understanding this thing?
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm not getting it.
You're feeling cold.
I'm not getting it.
You don't get it? Forget about it.
So Ruto, okay. So Uhuru,
so Raila.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the chairman of Azimio,
yes,
told the principal in Azimio, go talk to the other guy.
Yeah.
But Kioni does not know.
Even William Ruto didn't know.
But it's not even that. Even Kalonzo doesn't seem to know. Martha now clearly didn't know this at all, because when she knew it, she just left.
She just left Azimio complete.
Yes. So at least we know when she understood it. Again, Eric, the question is, how come you don't understand this simple thing?
Simple.
I don't know, man.
And let me tell you, even tomorrow another detail will come about, and this confusion that is meted on you today, after you...
Maybe tomorrow we'll now have some more clarity. India.
Yes.
It will be clarity.
But for now, just understand.
But go with unity.
We agreed with Ruto in 2022 that we are going to sort out this country together.
Yeah. So, that's where we are.
Okay, 7 a.m. Let's talk about border insecurity.
Spice up your life
Good morning. This is the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamir. President William Ruto has hinted at the reintroduction of the scrapped Finance Bill 2024, saying several projects his administration had planned to execute are in limbo due to lack of funds. Speaking in Nyeri Masaba during his tour of the Gusii region, Ruto said he was in dilemma over the 130 billion shillings he'd set aside for roads. President Ruto said, and I quote, "Some other people came out, made noise and made the finance bill to fail. I want us to agree on this. I must repeat that task." End of quote. "I want to ensure the monies are available," continued the president. Area MP Daniel Manduku said the residents had instructed him to vote against the bill, but if it's reintroduced, they may allow him to vote for it. Ruto also launched several projects in Kisii, including 270 affordable housing units and a cancer treatment center.
Tukiungana na serikali ya Saudia na benki ya Badea na serikali ya Kenya patia bilioni 3 ya kujenga cancer center ya hapa Kisii, na nimeanzisha leo asubuhi hiyo kazi. Unajua ugonjwa wa kansa inatatiza wananchi wengi. Mtu anakuwa mgonjwa wa kansa, inauzwa ng'ombe, inauzwa shamba, mali inapotea, bili inakuja mamilioni. Tumesema kama serikali ya Kenya ya kwamba tukienda mbele katika program yetu mpya ya Universal Health Coverage, sasa tuko na fund ambayo itashughulikia magonjwa kama vile saratani ya makansa.
Businessman Jimmy Wanjigi has said that President William Ruto's regime is out to finish him off following the recent raid on his Muthaiga home by heavily armed police officers. Speaking in an interview with a local TV station last night, Wanjigi alleged that the regime intended to kill him, citing the attack which linked him to possession of assault weapons including hand grenades and tear gas canisters. The Safina party leader referred to a past raid during former President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration, saying that Ruto and his predecessor have a hidden animosity towards him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why come and say I have grenades? To say I have grenades is saying that I'm waging a war on this country using arms. No. I have been talking only one subject. Money. Money.
Wanjigi further went on to say that the recent raid at his residence was not about discovering any alleged weapons in his house, but only to arrest him.
There are very many ways you can arraign me in a court if I've done wrong. If there's anything you can find that I've done wrong, I think it's a question of the two presidents, former President Uhuru Kenyatta and the current President William Ruto. Here we are with two regimes creating criminalities to get me. This is them who fear me. You should ask them why they fear me.
A bill to regulate the prices of essential commodities has been presented to the Senate. The Price Control Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by nominated Senator Tabita Mutinda, aims to ensure that the goods remain affordable for all Kenyans, especially low-income earners. Mutinda said the bill aims to prevent sudden price hikes in essential goods which could harm consumer purchasing power and overall welfare. If passed, the bill will empower the Finance Cabinet Secretary to prevent monopolies and oligopolies from using their dominant positions to artificially hike prices, protecting consumers who've limited alternatives. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has declared a public health emergency over the continent's growing Mpox outbreak. Scientists from the Africa CDC say they are alarmed by the spread at which a new strain of the virus has been spreading. Since the beginning of the year, more than 13,700 cases and 450 deaths have been recorded in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The virus, which can cause lesions across the whole body, has spread to other African countries including Kenya, Burundi, the Central African Republic and Rwanda. That's the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira.
SpiceFM, Nakuru.
Taking a quick look at what's happening with traffic this morning, I think we'll see some movement going around the city. Coming off Thika Superhighway, starting to build up, and then also on Jogo Road this morning. We'll see that moving a bit faster than normal. Coming to the top of traffic hour, let's talk through the morning. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag the Situation Room.
This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
6 minutes after 7. How are you doing? Thank you for keeping it locked on SpiceFM. This is Kenya's biggest conversation. We set the agenda and feel the pulse of the nation right here on SpiceFM, on KTN Home, KTN News, on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, on TikTok, on Radio Garden, everywhere from Nairobi to the world. Ndu, the English Premier League begins when? This weekend.
Yes. Coming off the Community Shield that happened last weekend. And then getting into it. Let's see who's going to, be top of the table.
Let's see who will be second.
Eric already predicted that one in alphabetical order. And he said Arsenal.
Because it starts with A.
It starts with A, yes.
So mid-table teams like Manchester.
Here we go.
On a scale. Eric, continue.
So this weekend and every time that there's an English Premier League match going on, you tune into Spice FM and you'll hear live commentary, right?
Yes.
Because we have the rights, the radio broadcasting rights for the English Premier League. This is Radio Maisha, Spice FM, and Berur FM. Yeah? Yes. So this one, una watch kila siku, sindio?
Yes.
Very good, tumekubaliana.
Bora kuna mechi.
Una watch kwa masikio.
Unasikia na macho.
So let's talk about border insecurity, the heavy task that the Professor Kithure Kindiki and the incoming IG of police have. All right. We are joined by Dido Raso, who is the Member of Parliament for Sako constituency in Marsabit County. Mheshimiwa, good morning.
Good morning, Eric. How are you today?
Very well. Watu wamesema to waite in your proper good name.
Yes.
Mtumishi.
Ndio.
Good morning.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana to Kenya's biggest conversation.
Asante.
Now, the Aga Khan University Hospital has sent us with a message to give to you this morning, and City will deliver it.
Yes. Hospitals deal with health matters. And many a time people go to hospitals when the health matters have gone beyond them, so they need what we call treatment or care. The Aga Khan University Hospital is saying, no, you don't need to do that. You can actually visit us at any of our many branches, not to be treated, but to find out what your health status is. What does that mean? It means you need to come in to have a comprehensive checkup, so that if there's any ailment lurking somewhere in your body, we will get to know about it, and if there's anything that requires to be done about it, it can be done. We want to determine and know that if there's any disease, it can be taken care of before it becomes a problem. Every once in a while you hear of people who collapse, taken to ICU, HDU. Those people didn't suddenly collapse. There was something in them that grew and got to a point where it affected them in that manner. But in addition, they're saying, look, this is actually a subsidized rate, but look for a total amount of 9,950. 9,950. Visit any of our centers, and we will provide you with this service. You will get to know. And once you know, you will then know what it is you need to do about your health.
You're a military man.
Yeah.
You know health is important. And keeping yourself in check is important. So that's the message.
Yeah, I think it's a poignant message, particularly for those of us from Marsabit and those who live along the border. We experience it all the time. First of all, thank you for having me in your studios this morning. I was go to families that have lost their loved ones yesterday. Still fresh in our minds that a vehicle can be ambushed. The passengers are unarmed, they are killed, and then they are burnt to ashes. It's a very rare phenomenon because it doesn't occasionally happen. But we are still grappling to find out why in this particular case. But also coming from the border, we say anything can happen at any time. Because across, that is another government, another sort of security and administrative arrangement, quite different from us. And this is what has happened. I like when you talked about Professor Kindiki and the new IG who will be vetted tomorrow by Parliament. If it will be successful, I think they will have to rethink and begin to rejig security on our borders, on the Kenya-Somali border, on the Kenya-Ethiopian border. Because unlike the other borders where we have issues of trade and maybe contraband, in these particular two borders is where we experienced armed groups that come into our country, kill, and they move away without anybody trying to stop them. As a former military officer, my concern is we cannot deploy all our military along the borders and show or demonstrate belligerence to our neighbors. But still, we must show that weight when it is necessary, because it's about sovereignty.
When it's important, you can show the force.
Yes.
We'll get into that conversation shortly, and we'll start with you telling us exactly what happened yesterday. But City has another thing to tell you, and that is the day's proverb. So for the last 3 weeks, this being the third week, he has been going into landlocked countries of Africa. Now, kind of what, give us one landlocked country. Don't say Ethiopia.
Or Uganda.
Or South Sudan.
Any other?
Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi. All those are landlocked countries.
Very good. City, in which country are you this week?
We are in the Central African Republic. You know how it is when we say the Republic of Kenya, Republic of Rwanda. These fellows in Central Africa didn't wait. They decided they're the Central African Republic. They're not waiting for you to tell them that the Republic of Central Africa.
And you will not ask where are they?
They've told you.
They're in the center of Africa.
So they're in Africa. It can't be Central African Republic in Australia. No.
And they cannot be in West Africa.
No, they're in Central Africa. But the thing you've done, Mheshimiwa Mtumishi, you have shown you actually know your geography. Most people struggle. We've had people telling us, you say landlocked, they say, South Africa. Then you realize, okay, geography was not their strong point. If the sun claims to have power over the moon, this is the proverb, let it shine at night.
If the sun claims to have power over the moon, let it shine at night. What's your interpretation of this one?
I think it borders on impossibilities. It doesn't matter how strong something is, maybe how much you love it. It doesn't happen as maybe one would wish or one would project. It's like saying you lose a loved one, and then you say, oh, why did so-and-so die? But we say death is inevitable. It happens. It is much beyond that human control or imagination. So the sun is everything. but it will not shine at night. It's only the moon. So it's beyond us. It could be just be nature.
What will be, will be.
You've interpreted it very well. Yes, that's what we call a broad-based interpretation.
So let's get into this one, right? What happened in Marsabit yesterday? What exactly happened? Just take us through the chronology of what happened, what you know so far.
Yeah, first of all, I want to bring you from not very far, but as far as it can take.
Okay.
The border between Dukana, that is in Northern, and Sololo, maybe a distance like 100 to 150 kilometers, is an open and very porous border. On one side, we have the Gabra communities living on the northern side, and the Borans living on the eastern side, which is on the Sololo side. Over the last, I think, 1 year or so, although this thing can stretch as far as 30 years, where bands of armed group and men, they will cross the border, attack a village, kill a chief or a prominent person. And even from the Kenyan side, some band will go across into the Ethiopian border and kill maybe an elder who is opinion leaders. So this ping pong has just been on and off. Sometimes they'll come and burn your house if you are on that border, suspectedly that you are harboring a group that wants to influence the politics in Ethiopia. But what happened 24 hours ago or so, there was a lorry that was flying between Turbi. Turbi is a town on the Moyale northern border, but on the A2 highway. Is I think for you people in the media, is a prominent town. You know the Turbi massacre and all that. So this vehicle was flying between Turbi and Dukana. So around a place called Forole, that is hardly 6 kilometers from the border, this vehicle was ambushed. So the attackers just put a flood of bullets on the vehicle. It's as if they didn't care whether there'll be anyone who survives or not. Once they completely disabled the vehicle, I think a young girl, by miracle, she was able to get out and run. And you know it was at night, around 9 in the night. So once the vehicle was disabled and the passengers were killed, then they burnt it down with everything. Luckily, I don't know how some 2 guys managed to just wriggle out of that vehicle. Those 2 survived with injuries. And I think as we are talking now, they are in hospital. And they say that they are in a stable condition. But the vehicle and everything was burned down in shell, the contents of the vehicle. Nothing could be salvaged.
And there were people on board the vehicle?
Yes, there were 9 people on board. And I think out of those, 6 were killed.
Does it look like, I mean, of course, there are very many opinions flying around at the moment in terms of why this happened in the way that it did. But does it look as though there was a target? Was it a missed target? Because one now is looking for the reasons as to why you would then burn these individuals in the car. One manages to escape and then you burn the car down. Was there a target that they missed? Was there somebody that they were looking for? Or was it just another incident to show, some kind of strength?
I think I would agree with you to an extent. We are just groping in the dark. Maybe they were looking for a particular individual whom they thought was on board this vehicle. But what is quite annoying and unnerving is the brazen nature of what took place. Because if these guys were armed, then you would say it is in the process of exchange of fire. That there was maybe security on board. But none of that. This was just civilians who are just on their normal chores. And we expected, they could have just stopped the vehicle, ransack it, and even go away with those...
the goods.
The goods and even those passengers, in case they really wanted to get all of them. But once the vehicle was disabled, they didn't need to go to that stretch of the people have been killed. So why ban them? Because yesterday when these people were being buried, they were not able to identify them. So they just got the remains, whatever they could find in terms of body parts. And then they just interned them. So for us, because we are Africans and we are people who are fairly cultured people, there are things you don't do beyond that human extent. You kill the person. So please, don't do other things.
You don't have to burn them. You don't. So you said that this appears to have been something there's been some tension in this area for a couple of weeks. That is, even culminating in this. What is the security situation like? What's the deployment like of security agencies in this area?
I think what is a bit encouraging is the level of response. Because as soon as this incident happened, I think in matter of hours, there's a military camp that is about 10 kilometers from the site of incident. And they quickly responded. They were able to cordon the area. And then there's a police station at Forole and also Turbi who responded to this. So as we are talking, I think the government is cognizant that border, something needs to be done. The funny thing, as long as that border is, there are no border crossing. People cross at whatever point, carrying contraband, drugs, arms. So one of the things we as leaders of Marsabit, we have been proposing is we need to live in the 21st century. That our borders, if they are not going to be completely policed, there must be some checks on who comes into our country and who goes out.
Kind of, what are you saying? A wall?
Yes, not a wall. Because to have border crossing, so that people who are particularly in vehicles, those vehicles must cross through some points. Because if an incident happens, either side of the border, then somebody asks, and how did those people go there? Who knows how many people are on board? The only thing now, today we know is that vehicle started, the journey began in Turbi. So people know who are on board. Akina so and so, Akina so and so.
Yeah.
But otherwise, what would have happened if it was burnt across the border? Because our people cross that border sometimes at will. Nobody will tell him or her, why are you crossing the border?
Yeah.
Is there anything to mark the border?
The border is marked. It's fairly recognizable.
How?
It's known. There are pillars that was there since independence. And I think they were reaffirmed.
How far apart are these pillars?
Maybe about 10 kilometers. I think about 10 kilometers. Because it's a fairly large border.
Yeah.
The stretch is big. But in terms of, by the way, in terms of the Kenya-Ethiopian border, we have never had issues in terms of border delimitation. What was left to us by the colonialists has been respected, and Kenya and Ethiopia have been the best of neighbors in terms of security arrangements, in terms of defense pact, because we used to look at things during the Cold War, where the Somalis were in the eastern bloc. Kenya was in the west, and Kenya and Ethiopia, they happen to be almost like allies.
Yes.
So in terms of border, we have never had an issue. But what we are surprised in the recent years is the incursion.
So the increasing incidences?
Yes, increasing incidences.
Why do we have a military base here?
We have a military base in Moyale, also a military base in Marsabit town, a place called Karari. But also we have a military outpost, a place called Idido, that is not far from Turbi.
Why?
Generally, deploying the military is about sovereignty of a country. That I give assurance to my people that no external threat will affect the security of my people, their properties. So it's just like an insurance. You don't insure because there will be an accident, but just in case there is some recourse.
But then, Mheshimiwa, there have been very many in cases now, recently, in terms of just cross-border conflict and over years around the area of Marsabit.
The difference between what we experience in Marsabit and like maybe other places, and I will also consider the Kenya-Somali border. The sort of transitional or community that lives across the border sometimes is very tricky to the government, because the Borans live, Borans, Gabras, the Gari in Moyale, in Mandera, the Somali in Garissa, Wajir, Mandera. They live across those borders. And what these communities who live along these borders, they want is unfettered access. Because they say, I'm visiting my family across. You know, the government will say, yeah, there's nothing wrong. But I think we only get shocked and really get annoyed when that thing transcends into lawlessness, killings, and some sort of impunity that borders on there's no law and order.
Let me ask this question, Mheshimiwa. When one looks at the issues that we refer to as conflict, whether it is in the Marsabit area, whether it is in the northern rift of this country, between communities who have lived next to each other for generations, I want to ask three questions. When these conflicts arise, there's usually a genesis. do these communities have a laid down cultural, historical way in which compensation is given or issues are settled? That is my first question. I ask this question because if I think of the issues that we are referring to, I am taken back in history to July 2005, what was referred to as the Turbi massacre, in which 56 people died. But that massacre can be traced back to the year 2002, when a Gabra man was killed, and it was said ostensibly by the Borana. The retaliation was some 728 goats were taken, back and forth. I'm simply asking this because anything that happens in communities that have a history of conflict, there's a genesis. And it appears some of the issues were not resolved. So I'm asking the question, are there cultural norms that allow people to settle these matters when something of that sort happens before it escalates?
Wonderful. I think you are right, and I agree with you. We are highly traditional, yes, and we are highly a compensatory culture that lives together. Like maybe I can talk with fair authority on the Boran and the Gabra. These are the same people, they intermarry. Yes. Their culture, their language, yes, basically everything is one and the same.
Yes.
It's just the axiomatic that these are Gabras, these are Boran. So when a person is killed, and it can easily be traced that this other group killed, the first thing is to accept that we are responsible. And that discussion begins from there. And I want to give you a live example. A few weeks ago, there was a border young man. He gave right to some two fellows from the Ajuran. And then when he was, people identify him carrying these two gentlemen. Mm-hmm. So the next thing which was reported was this guy was killed. And quickly the Boran said, the Ajurans are the ones who killed. And they take responsibility. And indeed, they took responsibility. And as we are sitting here, the Ajurans, I think they did some compensation to that family and also to the community because they owned it up. In terms
was
of...
there punishment to the supposed killers?
What they first said is to compensate and also to hand over the individual over to government. Mm-hmm. Because the reason why they have to compensate is so that there are no revenge attacks. Because if you kill, even if you compensated, somebody will not forget. The major difficulties that is not there maybe in the agrarian communities. The agrarian communities believe that if that person who killed my brother is in court and is in jail, it brings a closure. Yeah. But for these pastoralist communities, the closure is that compensation. First you say, I am sorry. The second is that individual will have their day in court. Then it has brought a closure. Mm-hmm. But if that circuit is not closed, it will always be an open wound. Mm-hmm. They say, okay, they killed a young man of 25. We'll also look for somebody like that. In terms of what you say, the issue of reparation or compensation, it is that other community that must own up. And indeed, if they own up, then it happens. You try to bring the example of Turbi massacre.
Yes.
And Turbi massacre, the much I know, is the sort of there's an incident that is committed and it's swept under the carpet. Another one happens, this other group follows it up, nothing happens. Maybe an individual is arrested, is taken to the police, is released. So the other guy keeps on just taking his stock. Yes. So I agree with you. Even the issues of North Rift, the Turkanas and the Pokot, they are highly traditional people. And if the elders on one side accept that we took 20 of your cows, we are going to return them. And in compensation, we are going to give another 5. Those guys will not quickly retaliate. They know that, but they have returned, so why go to that extent? They killed a herder, a young boy of 13. So these guys say, if you kill somebody from these communities, then you say that you are going to pay in terms of compensation 20 cows. Then you ease the tension.
Right.
So that even if the Wazes come to talk, the anger is not there.
It's reduced.
Yes.
Let's take a break.
It's reduced.
Let's take a break. We'll continue shortly. 23 minutes to 8. Our guest this morning is the retired Colonel Dido Ali Raso. He is the Mtumishi representing the people of Saku constituency in the National Assembly. He's here because we want to talk about the issue of tensions and insecurity along Kenya's borders, particularly this border between Kenya and Ethiopia. This attack that took place yesterday where people were killed, a vehicle attacked, people killed, and then their bodies burnt. It's a big one. What is the response from the government and what needs to happen to actually make sure that there has proper peace in this area, in these communities? You know, the way we're just talking here, they killed so and so, and so they paid, and so they... It's like it's just normal. This needs to stop being normal. We'll be back shortly.
This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your...
Hey, baba boy, gas imeisha, shopping imeisha, na ujue tokens bado zinalia.
Msupa, nipe mbao na 20 minutes.
Mbao, like 20 bob. 20 minutes, kwani kuna nini? Na ujue mi nataka kupika haki.
Jaber, kwani ujui dakika mamilini every 20 minutes, halafu wanapea na 10 million every 20 minutes, na hadi kuna 3 millionaires every hour.
Daka mamili virahisi. Uko na nafasi 3 ya kuwa millionaire kila hour. Usipitwe. Cheza daka. Ushike mita yako sasa. Chagua nambari zako 4 za bahati and win up to 10 million every 20 minutes. Nenda kwenye paybill 440440. Account Spice amount. Cheza na shilingi 20 hadi shilingi 2,000 na ushinde mamilioni. Daka mita kuwa bingwa.
The weather with Spice FM.
Sunny conditions, cloudy conditions, I beg your pardon, in Nairobi. We'll see highs of 25 and lows of 12, and lows of 13 to highs of 24. In a sunny Nakuru, it's 14 and sunny in Nyeri with highs of 21, and 23 will be the high in a partly sunny Eldoret. 24 degrees and partly sunny in Mombasa, going to highs of 29, and we'll see highs of 29 as well in Malindi, where it is currently 25. Looking into Johannesburg at 12, we'll see highs of 19 and lows of 6, and looking into Mogadishu, 27 and sunny, 13 and cloudy in Addis Ababa, and Lagos at 25 is cloudy, with Kinshasa cloudy at 20.
Welcome to Spice FM, the best exclusive radio station bringing you the best mix of the best music ever.
Really busy on the Thika Superhighway this morning, coming in all the way from well beyond Survey, and also on Kamburu this morning, looping round to Muthaiga Square. Very busy. Landis Road is busy as you get towards Kamkunji at the roundabout, and it's busier still on Jong Road. It's busy still on Gong Road as well, coming into the city, the roundabout to the City Mortuary roundabout, then going towards the CBD. So traffic hour, that's where we are. Let's see what happens as we go through it. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag the Situation Room.
Spice FM. Spice up your life. Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
20 to 8, our guest, the Honorable Retired Colonel Dido Ali Raso, MP, Sako constituency, is here with us, talking about the tensions along this border. What needs to happen long term? We need a long-term solution here.
I think in long term, one of the things that must happen is we must go from the known to unknown. First, the government must take responsibility. Responsibility ends somewhere and it starts somewhere. Secondly, it is about the communities that live on that border. You must accept that you also have something to contribute to that peace along that border. Because if you as communities just throw your hands up in the air and say, let the government take control, who is the government? At the end of the day, you are part of that arrangement called government. Thirdly, the communities must also accept to live in peace. Because before this incident, over the last 2 years, the Gabras and the Borans, they stopped fighting. Something that also we are pleasantly surprised. Because before, there will always be this killing, this is stealing of this livestock, this and that. But over the last 2 years, the Boras and Gabras is like silently everybody is saying that tumechoka. Let us accept peace and let us embrace peace. So mine is to, my suggestion is those two communities that live along the border, because they straddle the border, they must accept or agree to live in peace.
Okay. I have to ask, though, that every time we see that there's an issue, like with what we saw yesterday, then maybe it gives rise to why, because the conflict or the lack of peace, we've seen this for a very, very long time. But then I think in trying to solve the problem, one must look at the reason for the conflict. And I think more often than not, we don't look at where did this all start from? What is the problem? Before you even ask the who and the where did this start from? Do you have any ideas or insights into how this all began? Because if you say that two communities should live in peace, you more often than not have to revisit the original problem and say, where did these two communities begin to clash? For you to then be able to point to a solution. So what is that?
I want to say what is the starting point. The starting point historically is that the Gabras and Borans, if I take that as the origin of whatever is there, is they have naturally been just one people. It's just like when you make the coin, you make a head and a tail. That is how they were. But we saw the differences begin to grow as soon as the constituency of Saku and Nodor were created in 1988. This is when now the Gabras found the Borans. So these people found that, kumbe, we are different people. We never thought so. So there is that identity crisis, redefining yourself. So slowly it matured into that differentiation. we were communities that never used to kill or attack each other.
Where does that leave the other communities in the area? The Rendile, the Burji?
Yes. The Burjis, I think they are fairly a fabric of either the Boran and the Gabra, because they live with them. And they are business people, they are agrarians because they are largely farmers. So by and large, they are not part of this conflict.
The Rendile?
They will not fight any of them. Now, the Rendiles, the border with the Borans and the Gabra, we attack each other not for hatred or killing for trophy, but people steal animals from each other. They're wrestling. And in the traditional days, when there were no serious government, it was a hobby to steal from so-and-so just to do restocking. So we used to find it's normal. But also that time, the issue of killings were not that many. Because people used to just hunt with the spears. But most of these killings began to be pronounced and attenuated. Once people started having guns, machine guns, automatic rifles. But for the two communities, the Gabra and the Boran, their relationship is quite unique. In many ways, one language, one people, they intermarry, the same culture, almost traditions, almost by 95%. What divides us maybe is very little. So the issue of now government taking control, you know, when we say government in Marsabit, is the office of the president, is the Ministry of Interior. Those are the people who give you locations, the districts. There are people who give you the police. So whoever is close to that power tends to get more.
Right.
So when somebody else gets 2 locations, then you'll ask, as the Rendile, Gabra or Boran, will say, okay, and Namimi, what have you given me? So I, without fear of contradiction, I used to say even in Parliament that our problem emanates from the office of the President, that they will give whoever comes. They must follow up to say, okay, we have given Honorable Raso this. What can we give Honorable Wario, the MP for Northor? And have we given the MP for Moyale? Have we given to Lekuton, the MP for Laisamis? So that you don't interfere with the power balance. You allow all the time a win-win situation, so that no one community or 2 communities feeling, oh, you know, we are being shortchanged. And it needs both very intelligent and magnanimous individuals in the office of the president to do that balancing act. Because once that balance is interfered with, it goes all the way to the ground. That even herdsmen know that, oh, so-and-so got a location yesterday and people are celebrating. So-and-so got a chief from their clan. And yesterday they killed a few bulls.
So such things matter.
Such things matter.
The National Cohesion and Integration Commission has done a lot of work on Marsabit County. Various administrations, various interior ministers, and people in the Interior Ministry have done a lot of work. Their reports, all these things, they've had meetings with the leadership from this area. Are you saying that none of them really sees this as a solution? Has it never been put to them?
You know, Eric, the difficulties that we experience as leaders and also politicians, Kenya is quite different from the whole of this region. When I was in the army, I was in AMISOM in Somalia. In fact, I was in Somalia for 2 years. And I understood what functions and what does not. I am quite familiar with the administrative arrangement in Ethiopia. Also in Uganda. Not that much, but a bit in Tanzania. What those countries tend to do is first is they demonstrate to the population the presence of government, that citizens will not act out of any disorder. They will always fear on their back that there's government. Secondly, these governments are very cognizant to say that, are we disadvantaging any group? Because potentially that will be a spark. I know of a case in Ethiopia where communities move, because pastoralists, they move a lot. And then in the process, they give some regions or location to some other groups. And it becomes the spark for what I would call a long stretch conflict. And then suddenly they say, oh, okay, if that is the cause of conflict, we have returned it. So in our case, although we live in a postmodern society, but our rural areas are largely still traditional, and they keep to certain things. They say, no, please, don't take this from me. And that is why we have an assistant chief in a sub-location. That is the smallest administrative unit. It is a bridge between that is small village and the government. Then location. The arrangement that, although we can despise the colonialists, but the arrangement that they left, we have not changed a lot because it works for us to an extent. So for me, and the question that you have asked, we know that there are a lot of achievements in terms of what they have done in the office of the president or Ministry of Interior, as it were. But there are certain things, a decision which was taken under Kenyatta 1, under Moi, under Kibaki. So if you try to undo that under Ruto, it becomes very difficult. It's like you are trying to climb Mount Kenya when you are not prepared. Look at Ongata Rongai. Ongata Rongai today is largely part of Nairobi, although administratively it falls under Kajiado. Who are the inhabitants? When I was a young man in the army, Ongata Rongai used to be just a training ground. They are Masai Manyatas. It was just grazing area for the Masai. Today the Masais cannot look over their shoulders and say, oh, hapa ilikuwa kwetu.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's not that anyone dispossessed them of that land, but it is that evolution in human development. So slowly, even our region, the government must do, the government must be very proactive in terms of doing certain things differently. In terms of saying, this thing works for these people, let no external influence affect it. These people live along the border. They want to cross this border. If they cross this border, there is no problem. But make sure there are no external elements that negatively influence the normal activities on this border. So there are things that the government is like a referee. The people are the players. It is the referee who says where there is foul.
Has the government been dropping the ball on those issues?
I think largely that is what I must say. Because if the government was focused throughout, I live in Nairobi. When I look at how the security machinery works, then I will go to Nakuru. Nakuru is not Nairobi. Is what I would call peri-urban. It's urbanized, but also there are people who live in farms. They are almost rural. That combination calls for a different type of security arrangement. Then as you go out completely, you go to Baringo. Baringo is very different. One part is urbanized. People are living in towns. They are very peaceful. And then just across, when you go across Lake Baringo, then that is like an area where people are fighting. So that security arrangement is different. So what I would personally advise or advocate for is for us not to appear to be making the same arrangement that we think it works in town, it can work in rural. It doesn't. That's why we have the NPR in those outlying areas. There are not enough policemen, there are not enough security agencies. So you give arms to some of the locals to take care of the security, not just against marauding bands of bandits, but also against animals, because animals will come and attack your livestock. So there's no time to call security.
You need to have your own arms.
Yes.
I saw some of the leaders after yesterday's incident calling for the rearmament of the National Police Reserve. The locals to be rearmed because they were disarmed some time ago. Would you advocate for the same?
Yes, they were disarmed because the NPR became part of the problem rather than the solution, because they come from one community. So this community is fighting with the other one. So they contributed actually more to that insecurity. But if the government is going to rearm, which I would advocate, then the security arrangement must be different in terms of who are these people with arms, where do they live, what are their responsibility, because you cannot give a person an arm without responsibility. That responsibility must really be there. Responsibility without borders is no responsibility. And when you arm a civilian, it's not like a security person who keeps that arm in an armory. They will go with it to wherever they go.
The market.
Yes, everywhere. So that policing, that arm does not do what is not really prescribed.
Okay.
So
rearm them, but put stringent conditions on them.
Indeed.
Kano, we thank you for joining us today. We hope that you'll come again and we continue this conversation. Kano Dido Ali Raso is the Member of Parliament for Sako constituency in the National Assembly. He's been here. We've been talking about the insecurity in Marsabit County, what's happening, and what the government needs to do to address this issue. Keep it here for more. It's 8 a.m.
Sugar and spice and
Spice up your life.
Good morning. This is the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira. President William Ruto will conclude his 3-day visit to Nyamira and Kisii counties today. Ruto, who's accompanied by his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, has launched several projects including a cancer center in Kisii. The president has continued to use regional tours to appeal for national unity and to defend his so-called broad-based government. Here's what he said in Kisii.
This is the moment in the history of our nation that we must close ranks, that we must work together, that we must not look at what is in it for the leaders, what is in it for the private interest of leaders, or what is in it for the sectarian interest of sides and parties. It is time for us to think about our nation as Kenya.
President Ruto's calls for unity were echoed by Kisii Governor Simbarati.
Tuweke tofauti yetu kando kidogo. Tufanye kazi na Mheshimiwa Rais kwa kipindi ambacho kimebaki, tuhakikishe kwamba maendeleo yamekuja kwa wananchi. Ama vipi? Si hivyo ndio hivyo? Mko tayari? Mko tayari? Kwa hivyo wewe tuachie hii eneo tupange hii maneno. Mheshimiwa Deputy President, unakaribishwa. Unakaribishwa, usiogope. Nyinyi kaa pamoja na Mheshimiwa Rais, lakini mkikoroga yeye pande ile nyingine, sisi kama ODM tuko tayari kutembea na yeye.
ODM leader Raila Odinga has said that former President Uhuru Kenyatta initiated his dialogue with President William Ruto at the height of the Gen Z-led anti-government protests. Speaking on Tuesday at a funeral in Elgeyo Marakwet County, Raila said Uhuru called him and requested that he speak to Ruto to find a solution for the crisis.
William ni mtu yangu, sisi tulikuwa na wao. Mudavadi alikuwa hapa, Ruto alikuwa hapa, Uhuru alikuwa hapa. Uhuru na Mudavadi walikuwa naibu wangu kama waziri mkuu. Unajua mna hiyo. Alafu William makao pale. Mimi nikaweka yeye waziri wa kilimo. Sivyo? Sasa ile nchi inachomeka, Uhuru ndiye alinipiga mimi simu. Uhuru akaniambia mimi tafuta bwana Ruto ongea na yeye. Kenya ikichomeka itakuwa na nchi nyingine. Mpaka hii tuzime hii moto, watu waketi chini waendelee waliwane.
Odinga further said the youth were protesting about genuine issues including the high cost of living, unemployment, persistent corruption, tribalism and heavy debt burden.
Magazeti haya wanaandika sijui nini Raila na Ruto handshake. Hakuna handshake. Hakuna handshake. Kale tulisema, mimi niliongea na Ruto nikamwambia shida iko hapo. Hawa watu yako ambao wameweka pale hawajafanya kazi vile wananchi wanataka. Wananchi wameudhika, ninaona hao sasa vijana wamejitokeza. Na vijana wakaniambia mimi, wewe baba kaa nyumbani, usitoke, umefanya ya kutosha. Wache sisi tuendelee. Sasa hawa vijana sio wenda wazimu. Nataka hii maneno yatutuliwe. Hawa watu ambao wameweka pale yote hawajafanya kazi sawa sawa. Ndio sababu hasira iko mingi namna hii. Na tena hawa askari yako wanatumia nguvu zaidi. Akasikia, mimi hii cabinet nitawapeleka nyumbani.
The Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, will today convene a special sitting to hear the charges against impeached Meru County Governor Kawira Mwangaza. In a special Gazette notice dated August 12, Kingi acknowledged that he had received a letter from the Speaker of the Meru County Assembly informing him of the approval of a motion for Mwangaza's removal from office by impeachment. Kingi said after the hearing, the Senate shall stand adjourned until September the 3rd in accordance with the Senate calendar. Mwangaza was last week impeached for the 3rd time in 2 years on 3 counts: gross violation of the Constitution, gross misconduct, and abuse of office. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has met Algerian Ambassador to Kenya Boumediene Mahi to seek his country's support for Kenya's African Union Commission chairperson candidate Raila Odinga. During the meeting, which took place at Wetangula's office at Parliament Buildings on Tuesday, Wetangula called upon the ambassador to spread a message of goodwill amongst Algeria's allies. Wetangula said Algeria sought Kenya's backing for its former envoy to Kenya, Salma Malika, who's been nominated for the AUC deputy chairperson position. Raila will run against Mahmoud Ali of Djibouti, Anil Gayan of Mauritius, and Richard Randria Mandrato of Madagascar. That's the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira.
102.5 Spice FM, Kisumu.
All right, so what are we looking at here? Traffic in the city this morning on the Thika Superhighway coming through towards Pangani at the underpass. Quite some traffic, and it's busy as you get towards the roundabout at the Globe Cinema. And then getting into the CBD also via museums, there's some traffic here as well. It's busy on Jogo Road heading out towards Landis, and we're also seeing quite some traffic on Raila Odinga Way heading through towards Gong Road and then out towards Valley Road even and into the city. Very busy coming in from the Eastern Bypass, also touching on North Airport Road, going towards Cabanas. That's very busy. It's going to touch a little bit on Mombasa Road, and there is some traffic. Then also on Outer Ring, in and outbound, incidentally. And on Kangunda Road, getting into the city, it's going to be busy for a while. Coming through towards 8 o'clock, let's see what happens as we get through traffic hour. We'll talk on SpiceFM KE on X hashtag, the Situation Room.
If we just gloss over issues and hope that time heals, then we might find that in generations to come, we might be back at the same situation. And the whole thing is born of stolen elections.
Spice.
When it comes to the decisions you make, you must be independent. There's no way you can allow one institution to dictate to you how you're going to conduct your operations, how you're going to decide cases. It's a no.
When you weaken the institution to the point where they cannot take action, then you realize that politicians have to come up and now start dealing with the issues.
That conversation has to die. Our politicians do not like the hard stuff. We must insist on the path of doing things right, whether popular or unpopular.
Money changes hands. That is a fact. If you have political goodwill at the highest top, like in Rwanda, then corruption will be an issue of the past. If you don't have political goodwill at the top, we will pass laws, we will amend laws, we will continue passing laws and re-amending laws, and nothing will happen.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day. This is the Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
It's 8 minutes after 8 on this 14th day of August 2024. We call this the EPRA Day. What do you think is going to happen? Mafuta na panda, mafuta na shuka.
You must start with the bang, must you not? Well, I mean, it's Opio Day. It's Opio Wandai Day.
It's Opio Wandai's first
yeah.
Shukisha mafuta or else.
We know where he lives.
Tutapigia baba.
Mwambie baba, huyu mtu wako.
Kufanya broad based.
Unaona hii.
Cost of living.
Tumempatia kazi mzuri.
Stress tayari.
Na sasa yeye ameanza hivi.
Cost of living. Opio Wandai akipandisha mafuta. Cost of living. Tunarudi kwa streets na sufuria kwa kichwa.
Mtungi ya mafuta.
Mtungi ya mafuta. Jerrycan. Shukisha mafuta Opio. Shukisha. Anyway, welcome to the third hour of Kenya's biggest conversation. We are glad that you're tuned in. It's Spice FM, KTN News, KTN Home, YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, Radio Garden, everywhere. People who are tuning in from across the globe, asante sana for doing so. And if you are wherever across the globe and you follow the English Premier League, I'm sure you're excited because a new season is about to begin. No, a new season has actually begun. Last Sunday, the Community Shield was the beginning of a new season. And every time there's a match, a live match, you'll be listening and following those live matches on Spice FM because the Standard Group has the radio rights for the English Premier League. So Spice FM, Radio Maisha, Berur FM, Zote will be broadcasting the the English Premier League. Right?
Right.
It's the Standard Group. It's the largest media house in Eastern Central Africa. And that's why the CEO is not just called CEO, it's called Group CEO. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to introduce you to the Group CEO of the Standard Group PLC. Her name is Marion Mwangi. Marion, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Welcome to the hot seat of the Situation Room.
It actually feels like a hot seat right now.
Does it?
Well, it does. It's pink, really.
That's what happens to hot things.
Yeah.
They have a different color.
For sure.
But it's going to be a very engaging conversation. First up is a message from the Aga Khan University Hospital, and this is about the importance of undergoing regular, periodic, comprehensive health checks. Right? CT says once you hit 40, please start thinking about them twice a year. Right?
Especially if you're a man.
Especially if you're a man.
Yes.
Okay. And if you're below 40?
Once a year is good. You see why I single out men. Women, by the nature of their body and their being, visit hospitals very regularly. Men, healthcare seeking behavior is more or less forced. They do not often voluntarily go to seek healthcare, even if it's just a checkup.
Do women take themselves or do they take children to hospital?
No, they take themselves as well. Even when they're not thinking of having children, women take themselves to hospital. Women are hospital friendly. Men are hospital averse.
That's true, by nature.
Yes.
So for everybody, why wait for a health scare when you can take health care? 9,950 shillings. And Aga Khan is saying, come today through the year for your health checkup. Make sure you get all those, nuts and bolts tightened and screwed on properly so that you can walk through life ready.
Yes.
Go under the bonnet, make sure everything is sorted out so that you can get on the ride of life without a problem.
Something's lurking in your body and you have no idea about it. You can't know unless you go for a checkup.
Yeah.
When you hear of somebody who has suddenly gone to the ICU, they suddenly didn't go there. Whatever it is that took them there has been there all along. They just didn't know.
It's been there for a while.
Yes, it's just been gathering momentum and waiting to take hold of your life. So you don't wait until it gets there.
The other analogy is when you're about to embark on a long journey.
Yes.
Say, for example, you're doing a road trip. I've got some friends who have done a road trip to Zimbabwe, right? And before that journey, of course, they take the vehicle in for just check.
Major.
Angalia. Are the brakes fine? Are the shock absorbers fine? Is everything fine? Imekata diff, iko sawa, everything, right? Check. So when you're about to begin a big job, like the CEO of the Standard Group Center, go for a health checkup.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Aga Khan says 99.50, just go. Nearest health facility, go there. Good advice.
I can agree. That's good advice. It's good advice. But as City says, we do that already. Voluntarily, mostly.
Yes.
With the annual checkup. You do that.
Yep, every year.
Good, very good, yeah.
Second thing that City is going to do is now give you the day's proverb. Every week, City goes to one African country. He mines proverbs from that country and he brings us a proverb a day.
Yes.
So for the last 3 weeks, this being the third week, he said he is going to landlocked countries of Africa. For example, Uganda is a landlocked country, Marion. Which other landlocked country would you think of?
Botswana, I live there.
Aha, Botswana.
Yeah.
This is a landlocked. We were in Botswana last week.
Yes, we were in Botswana last week.
This week we are in?
We are in the Central African Republic. Unlike other African countries, they want you to be clear about who they are. They are not the Republic of Central Africa. They've cleared that one. They've told you, Central African Republic. They're not in West Africa. They've told you they're in Central Africa.
Yeah.
So there's no mistaking where they are. Central Africa Republic. Whose capital is Bangui. Someone who told me it's not pronounced Bangui, as I'm saying.
Bangi.
It's pronounced Bangi.
Bangi. And you said the country used to be called what?
The country.
Kunywa Bangi or something.
Eric, sometimes you make me believe that there's very little hope of getting to understand things, but it's called Ubangi Shari.
See? Bangi na chai. It used to be called Ubangi Shari.
Ubangi Shari. Then they got the first prime minister who felt, this is a bit of a mouthful, guys, come on. Central African Republic. But at that point in time, there were some expansionist ideas he had that, they could extend beyond the boundaries that we now have.
Right.
Very wealthy country. Uranium, cobalt, gold. But in terms of the Human Development Index, that's a global index, when you look at where they stand, out of 193 countries, they're 191. So they're not doing too badly from the bottom. Yes, and it is also known to be the worst possible country on the planet that a young person can live in.
Jeez Louise.
The youth here think there's no hope. Go to Central African Republic. Not my view. That's the Human Development Index. All this wealth, and they're poor. But the thing about them that makes them unique, they were once an empire. It lasted only 3 years or so, but at least they were an empire for 3 years, and they even had an emperor.
All right, how about that?
Yes, so they're a fairly unique country.
Kabisa.
Yes.
Proverb.
The proverb for today. If, indeed, the sun claims to have power over the moon, let it shine at night.
If the sun claims to have power over the moon, let it shine at night. Tuone. What's your interpretation of that proverb?
I think that everything has its place, and you must occupy your place at the right time, and not occupy it at the wrong time. I should actually listen to this thing in the morning. Then I would have, sort of
had
thought
some
about
leakage.
it. Yeah,
some 2 hours to prepare.
94.4.
Good one.
had leakage. Yeah, but everything in its place. A place for everything in its place. I'm a Kaizen practitioner, so I'll just go for PEEP. Place for everything in its place.
Fine. The interpretation is good. You understood the proverb well. Yes,
it's a very good one.
Yeah.
Now, this is employee interviewing the employer. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
So, Marion, tell us about yourself. Who's Marion? Okay, you've risen and done very many things by the time you got the appointment to be the GCEO of the Standard. Where were you before this? And what have you been up to?
Actually, this is day 7. Unlike what you may think, this is just day 7, and it's quite an early time to come to the studio. But I thought, let me come in and recognize people who have been here before me, especially the women who have led and nurtured me through my career. Before I came, I was in South Africa, actually, working for the biggest oxygen and engineering company in the world, the Standard Group. Producing anything you can think about in the periodic table, light gases, hard gases, argon to helium. And I think you remember that 2 years ago when we had the COVID crisis, I stood along the CS of Health just trying to save Kenya from running out of oxygen. So we also produce medical oxygen. And you cannot live your life. I mean, we talk about health today. You cannot live your life well if you're ill without purified oxygen, a raw material you find in the air, but in concentrations that you can use. But I came from that background, worked there for 2 years in South Africa, but 4 here, 6 years doing gas production, turnaround work in production processes, and trying to center the needs of the customer ahead of the engineering solutions. Because we engineers, I don't know about journalists, but engineers are experts in what they do. But at the end of the day, you have to see value from the eyes of the customer. So that's 6 years. And before that, I did a couple of things. I was managing director of Cadbury after Jane Karuku, which is the first woman I want to honor. She's been an amazing mentor. And coming after her made it just easier to lead as a woman in manufacturing of food, chocolate, these things people enjoy.
Always good.
Always good. And I've then served in different companies for 1,000 days on purpose. I've got the 1,000 day principle bedded down in practice and in reality. So I don't know what I'm saying about 1,000 days.
What's 1,000 days?
Yeah, what's 1,000 days?
Yes.
Yeah, 1,000 days.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
That in 1,000 days, you can make a big impact. You can influence decisions. You can influence a company or parts of a company that are not doing so well. And then after 1,000 days, if you feel that you're doing the same thing every day, and not getting excitement, or you're not being triggered, or you're not meeting your mission, then you need to move and do the next 1,000 days, inside where you are or outside. I think it's a very well documented principle. You would know about it, City.
Let me say I've read about it.
Yes.
Whether I understand it fully is a different matter.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But I have read about it.
Good.
Yes.
So if you see that my career has a couple of places that I've been. I worked in Bayer for 15 years, but 1,000 days every time in different roles. And you here have maybe your 1,000 days every time you meet a new person. So you've got excitement and variety in your work. But as a general manager, as a CEO, I've found it quite valuable to see success within 1,000-day landscape and then restart another 1,000 days.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How do you feel the 1,000 days? Because I'm sure you're not just counting physical 1, 2, 3, 4 until 1,000. There's also something else that's happening to you. How do you feel the 1,000 days? Do you feel that you're, getting to a plateau in terms of your performance, in terms of your enjoyment of the job? What is it that will define the 1,000 days beyond the calendar?
Actually, let me disappoint you. Actually, count them. So this is day 7.
So number 1, count.
But in the first 6 months or in the first 3 months, you get into a situation and understand what is that business and what value that business offer. So you sort of write off the first few, not write off, but use the first few days to do deep planning and go to the place. I'm here because I'm looking for deep planning. And then after that, just structure. What exactly do you want the end state to look like? The next 3 years, what are those things that you want to see? So when you establish a baseline within the first 3 to 6 months, and then you monitor those until the 3 years, because 1,000 days is about 3.5 years, and then check whether that's come along nicely, and before the 1,000 days, reestablish new ones. It's a personality that accepts 1,000 days, and other people want to do long, endless vocations. I just found, and I was taught by my father actually, this 1,000 days, that it really, really keeps me excited and keeps me at the heart of people, processes, and improvement.
Right.
Actually, it works 2 ways. Right from the time you're born, experts tell you that 1,000 days and the manner in which the mother and the child are nourished more or less determines how it is that child will grow. And then when that child is now born again in that child's life, the building blocks of that child's life and the foundation on which that child is going to be or what they're going to turn out to be are actually also built within that 1,000 days.
Yes.
Yes. So the 1,000-day principle is actually very profound in your life as a human being.
Absolutely. And that's where it started, actually.
Yes.
The brain forms within that 1,000 days. And that's why it's important to just have that nurturing time.
Yeah. Do the elements matter? Because with every new 1,000 days, there are different elements that are playing out. Whether it's in a business where you have not practiced before, or in a business where you have been for a previous 1,000 days, there are people, there are processes, there are historic issues. How do those play out to then help you traverse that particular landscape?
Everything matters, and everything and every industry is so different and so unique. Media especially, I didn't actually think about what industry it would be. I just knew that I would like to be in a platform that impacts and influences a large amount of people towards the things that matter, towards values and as we say here, the voice of the people. So I'm really, this is a different industry altogether. And there's a big advantage of not knowing in the beginning, because then there's fresh eyes and there's a perspective that you draw from facts. So you've seen I've gone all the way down and I've come and I've showed up in Nick 2 in this gamba, in this area, afraid but still here, to just learn this industry from the depths of it. And if I start the funny stories about the warnings that I've been told about this industry, or the encouragement from very few, makes me think, actually, I want to know. I mean, let's see. I'm boarding this bus anyway. I'm inside. Where it's going.
What have you been told?
Media is difficult. Media is puts you there in you get known by a lot of people, and that has risks, and the Standard Group, I don't know, and that'll be men. That'll be men mostly.
Oh yeah,
who say,
you can do it.
Could you tell us what is your strategy? And I haven't started really, but thank God I'm here with you, so that I can know that there's something that we'd never lose as women, and that's hope, and carrying people along. So I have been told many things. Don't ask me again, because I might reveal.
No. The beautiful thing about saying the things you've been told is the same thing that happens when we, as media practitioners or people who are in the business of media, do. We talk about things. And the perspective and the breadth of what we talk about, there is no limit to it. Yes, so what you've done right now is you've just jumped right into it, and that is the way this thing rolls. Yes,
right, yeah, right.
And Marian, to have open conversations. Obviously, you talk about the media landscape in Kenya and look at how the media has changed around the world. And then looking at the Standard Group, which is a very public conversation in terms of how things have been. And of course, from what you're saying, somebody would ask the question, why would you then take on such a challenge? And that's the thing. Why would you take on a challenge? Because it is currently a challenging situation. Why would you do that? And how then do you intend to traverse it?
I would, because it's right down my personal mission to impact society, to help improve the lives of people and communities and individuals as persons. So that's really a personal mission. But I would, because there's 1,000-odd people who you can multiply by 7 that are in this organization. There's more than 120 years heritage in this world. The archives are just amazing. When I went down there, I thought every company that has started in Kenya has a story written by the Standard Group. So there's some pride. I'm Kenyan. I've lived in many countries, but I love my country and I love my people. What a refreshing way to come back to the depths of something that seems to be what it is, and to really understand it factually. Because there's, as you say, city people talk, but what are the facts and what is the root cause? And what sort of bus is it? Does it have round wheels or square wheels?
Does it have an engine?
Well, the engine is still there, because I walked in and the lights are on. And in previous turnarounds, I've found the lights off, the bank in. So I know there's this difficulty almost everywhere, but there's parts of this company and every other company that are excelling, despite what you would think, and I've seen that factually because I'm here. But this being day 7, the investigative time, getting to know you personally, coming into this hot seat, is the beginnings of finding out what are the facts actually, and how are people experiencing, and how are people enjoying or suffering for that matter, so that like the good book says that what you reap you sow, and to the joys and to the sorrows that are there in every business or in life, whatever you put in, you will get back. And I've come here with that intention, to be for you, for society, and for companies, not only Standard, but those others that are struggling. Ours is struggling because it's publicly known, but there's many other companies that have deep struggles that are not publicly known. So, and the courage that we have from people who have raised us is just so high that is it difficult? Take me there. If it was easy, I probably wouldn't have come. Yeah.
I want to do it.
I want to do it, yeah.
You've done this kind of thing before. You've done turnarounds before.
Yes.
Would you say that there are some basic ingredients in every turnaround job? There are some things that are just, you will have these basic elements as you get into a journey of turning around an organization, a business, a culture, people.
Oh, yeah. The first one is people. You find people in a certain way. You find them either discouraged, over-discouraged, or a little bit discouraged. You find in that space, people who are really inspiring. I think you guys are inspiring. I'm not flattering you, but you're actually quite inspiring. Look at this product and how inspiring it is. So people are the biggest part of a change process because I wouldn't do this on my own. I wouldn't, even if I took 1,000 steps alone, I would not move it. I'm just the one that comes as a servant leader and just helps people's ideas to come to fruition, and to listen to every idea and to disseminate those and run them through a funnel of what would work. Because in this case, everything is always urgent. So my learning needs to be fast, so that we can address the urgent issues and then onboard the people in a way that they believe that heritage is important. The lives of people are impacted, of employees and other stakeholders. And I'm just actually busy doing the stakeholder mapping for the Standard Group to see how impacted are all the stakeholders. So the ingredients: people, processes, and then value through the eyes of the customer.
Right. It comes to people, even when you watch those movies and all. And in a war, when a retreating army is retreating, you'll find that there will be people who will be pointing fingers at one another in the same army. They were fighting together, but now they'll be pointing fingers at, you're the one who didn't hold the line. You're the one who did do this and the other. So you'll find a fragmented group of people. Yes, they are inspired. They'd like to stay alive because there's an army chasing after them. But they have now turned towards one another and start looking at each other and thinking, but why are we retreating? Maybe it's because, maybe you're the one who did, not because it's something that I did, but because something that somebody else did. You found that, I'm sure?
Oh, yeah. The blame culture is... so
it's a natural thing?
It's natural.
Okay.
And that's the reason why when I go in, I say, why, not who. So you say, why did this happen? Honor the history, honor those who are still here, honor the success that has been seen in the past, and then ask yourself why, and that way you're not in blaming anyone. But if you find them blaming each other, all of us have families, all of us are politicians in one way or another. Yeah. Because if you've got children and maybe somebody who working in your house, you already are a politician, but I'm not a politician. So the blame culture is existing in your personal life and in your work life and in your public life. So just disseminating that and understanding. Okay, let's discuss why other than who, so that we can get to the root cause of the problem quickly. Because a problem can only be solved when it is known, and that's my current challenge right now. How do I understand the problem in a way that allows me and the team to find a solution?
Okay, let's take a break.
No more, yeah.
26 minutes to 9. We're having a conversation with Marion Mwangi. She is the Group CEO of the Standard Group PLC. Day 7 on the job. Yep. 2,000 and how many to go?
Work it out.
Yeah. So we are talking about her and her journey and, what inspires her, what keeps her going. And, of course, looking at the Standard Group and the media industry in Kenya and what contribution she believes that she can bring to the table. Keep it here for more. There's somebody who's saying, Abu, open comments. Paul Nje here says you remind him of the cost that he's doing in management in change for MBA. Somebody else is saying that you should give us a pay rise.
Is that you?
This is the Situation Room The only way to start.
Hey, baba boy, gas imeisha, shopping imeisha, na ujue tokens bado zinalia.
Msupa, nipe mbao na 20 minutes.
Mbao, like 20 bob. 20 minutes, kwani kuna nini? Na ujue mimi nataka kupika haki.
Jaber, kwani ujui dakika mamilini every 20 minutes, halafu wanapea na 10 million every 20 minutes, na hadi kuna 3 millionaires every hour.
Daka mamili virahisi. Uko na nafasi tatu ya kuwa millionaire kila hour. Usipitwe. Cheza daka. Ushike mita yako sasa. Chagua nambari zako 4 za bahati and win up to 10 million every 20 minutes. Nenda kwenye paybill 440440. Account Spice amount. Cheza na shilingi 20 hadi shilingi 2000 na ushinde mamilioni. Daka mita kuwa bingwa.
Good news for the soccer lovers across Kenya. Very soon your lifestyle will never be the same. Crazy memories of the lively football matches.
Happening everywhere.
Introducing the new season of the English Premier League football matches.
Another gem of a goal.
Starting on the 16th of August 2024, exclusively on SpiceFM. Catch the upscaled, heart-throbbing season's football commentaries from the ever-zealous soccer commentators and presenters. EPL, Soka Katambe. Only on SpiceFM.
The weather with Spice FM.
Partly sunny conditions in Nairobi. We'll see highs of 25 and lows of 12, lows of 13 and highs of 24 in Nakuru. The sun is up as well in Nyeri at 13 with highs of 22, and it's 15 and sunny in Eldoret with highs of 24 and lows of 13. We're looking at a sunny day in Mombasa at 24, highs of 30, and we'll see highs of 30 as well in a sunny Malindi at 27. Sunny at 20 in Kisumu with highs of 29, while Kakamega will see highs of 29. It's currently sunny at 20. Kampala is sunny at 20 as well, going to highs of 29, and Dar es Salaam will see highs of 29 as well, where the sun is up at 24. 11 degrees and partly sunny and a windy morning in Johannesburg with highs of 19, and Mogadishu will see highs of 30, where it's mostly sunny at 27. A cloudy day in Addis Ababa at 14 with highs of 20. Lagos is cloudy at 25 with highs of 30, and we'll see highs of 32 in a partly sunny Kinshasa at 21.
Spice up your life.
Ngong Road is uncharacteristically busy this morning. Traffic going all the way through into the city. Raila Odinga Way has some traffic feeding into that, going towards the city mortuary roundabout. And some of the traffic is going to feed off towards Aerodrome, then touching on Uhuru Highway. And have a bit of a clog up as you try to get into the city, but all understandable for now. Still pretty busy on the Thika Superhighway as you come in from Survey through towards the junction of Wangari Maathai and Pangani. It's busy. A number of lanes on Kiambu Road right now as you try to get towards Muthaiga Square. And I think we're seeing the last of it on Jogo Road. We'll keep an eye on that. Outer Ring also busy in and outbound. And Eastern Bypass not looking too bad today. Let's see what happens in a short while. Still in traffic hour. SpiceFM KE on X. Hashtag The Situation Room.
Spice and everything nice. All right.
Spice up your life. Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Our conversation continues for the next 20 minutes with Marion Mwangi, the Group CEO of the Standard Group PLC.
Like we said, Marian, media into a space where, things have been difficult in the landscape for the last, as things went from traditional media practice towards a new kind of media practice where things are starting to go digital, and we're still operating in a space where traditional advertising, for example, was the go-to. And they're having to make shifts and pivots, all the new language that has come about. And you're going into a space where then being able to make money has been difficult. Being able to track things has been difficult. And the question is, coming into this space, what is your outlook? What's your plan to say this is how we're going to bring things together and try to see how we can turn around things. Because, I mean, that's one thing you mentioned, being in a situation where things can turn around. What's that thing, essentially, that you would apply or that you would see that how you'd be able to work through with the teams that are currently on ground?
The view and the insights that I have from being here over the last 7 days and preparing to come has been how do you transition to digital, and how do you transition to what the consumer needs or what the market has asked for or demanded for a long time, and that's generally the work that's on now, understanding what does digital mean in every aspect in the way we deliver news from different platforms. So I'm in this discovery stage, and I've had views on how important it is to transition digital quickly, and also how important it is to provide still a generation that wants to hold a paper or a book.
Yeah.
And the phase after this, and maybe the next couple of weeks, will be who are the stakeholders, and how do we engage those to actually see value from the eyes of those that are looking for us. But it is not lost to me that the competition and the difficulty in this space is really, really high. Actually, much more than I thought coming through the door. And there must be a way to change it. Ideation is normally not an individual journey; it's a team journey, and I will tap into slices of the company that already have the answers, and slices of experts, that would have the answer, and then lead. Because I think leading is the calling right now. Putting people together and getting their idea to action faster is part of my biggest goal. So day 7, I must come back. When I have the full plan. But I would be lying if I say that I have the exact plan. But the understanding is clear, and I'm very, very happy about what I'm hearing, because everybody is being very open, and very, they're speaking danger. So nobody's saying, oh, it's okay. They're saying it's bad. Very bad. And I like that in this room we have some humor, even in these times there's humor. There's no problem in the world that cannot be resolved.
Indeed.
There's none. I mean, and people have done this before. We just learn from them and just curate our own success stories.
It's interesting because it's almost like a Messiah moment, is it not? You must have a lot of expectation on your shoulders in terms of responsibility, because like we said, there are folks who are saying it's bad, and it's a difficult thing. But I mean, and again, because it's public, a lot of what has happened is very public in nature. Everybody knows, everybody knows that the linen is out there. So then to say, okay, well, here's the Messiah, Marion, who's going to come and, essentially sanitize everything. There's issues of payments. People are waiting. Those who've come and gone are saying, okay, we've not been paid. Those who've been, we've not been paid. Those who are saying, well, it's been a while since we've been paid. And the question is, okay, so how is all of that essentially going to be sorted out? It's the Messiah moment, Marion.
Yeah, and the pressure is on. I feel it. But more than that, I've seen the people's faces. I feel the urgency, and I'm with everyone in terms of what is it that they've faced and still come to work and still delivered good products. So the pressure is on. I'm certainly not the Messiah, but I bring a lot of goodwill, and a strong belief that that there's a lot that can be done and people work together, and there's a lot that can be done when the problem is clearly defined, and it's not on employees, and I know it's stakeholders as well. So the pressure is on. I mean, the way that I deal with pressure, because that's what you find in a turnaround, is to get the facts and not let it weigh me down too much that I cannot be able to rise.
Correct, yeah.
In fact, the true marking of what leadership is how you rise from failure. So how many times do you rise? And those who haven't fallen may not know, or those who fall and stay down. So I don't fall and stay down. I fall and stand up. And there's a lot of failure.
You know, segueing from Ndu's comment and the labeling of the Messiah, you see, a righteous man, the Bible says, falls 7 times and rises 7 times. Now that is if one gets biblical. But there's something you mentioned about people who've mentored you, and you singled out someone by the name of Jane Karuku. She's not the only one who mentored you.
Oh, that's true, for sure. That's not.
Yes, and the people who mentored you have brought you to this position where you are the first lady, the first woman to actually lead a media house in this country. We've not had another one.
No, we've had.
Who?
Rose Kimodo, Linda Halls, and others. Publicly listed major media houses.
Eric, that is the beautiful thing of details.
Yes.
Publicly listed media house we've never had.
Yes.
Yes. So you are the first. Now, tell us a little bit about how the role that has been played by the mentors you've had in your life and how it got you to this place where you not only want to be a problem solver, but you want to be someone who turns around problems and makes them into Gardens of Eden, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I like your words. Words there. In fact, let me start from very, very far. The women we've seen as we grew up, our grandmothers. My mother is a strong matriarch who solves problems in a relaxed way. Big problems. My paternal grandmother. I mean, the women that I've seen growing up, because they lead by example. They speak less, but they lead by example, and they face a lot of difficulty. So I've had those. And then in my career, there's been a tribe of women. You know, Lina Githuka, the MD of Kwal, Rita Kavashe, the Isuzu CEO, a fantastic and light friend. I mean, who brings light into when something is really, really heavy. I could mention all the fast-forward women that have been in the Sunny Bindra program, where we've just been vulnerable and called each other wise fools. So that tribe of people, and there's many. I've got Esther Muhaki, who I worked with at Nestle, and many others. And then I've got young people because I've got mentors around me who are young, either through the Palmas Foundation, a foundation that I've been for 18 years, just doing humanitarian work on kids who wouldn't go to school if the foundation didn't pay, and the ladies there and how strong they are. And then my nieces, Wendy, Jerry, they just say, Auntie, honestly, don't say that in public, and I still do. But they
Wendy, Jerry,
yeah, you
have been mentioned in public.
Yes.
Against your own advice.
Yes, I've got Shani, Modoni. I've got many nieces that are wonderful and open ones. But in the space of people who have been there, there's the global CEO of Cadbury. I met her personally. Do I say?
Yes.
And just her calmness in the midst of takeovers and shutting down businesses around the world is an enduring memory. So there's certainly a lot of people that have been there and who have actually come to me and said, we're here waiting, and I'm recruiting more. I hope I can recruit and do right now to that tribe of women, because we support each other in a way that men will probably not understand, including.
Eric, have you heard that?
Yeah. Men support each other as well, but sorry guys,
But not in this way.
we go deep. Yeah. We go deep. Yeah. I'll see you after this. Yeah. Yes.
So there's a lot that, has happened to you to make you the person that you are.
Oh yeah.
And then taking on those roles that are big when you go into a company and you've got to make the tough decisions. Some of those decisions will have to be painful to some people, but then will have to be important and fruitful to the organization, and maybe later to the same people to whom it was painful earlier. Those are decisions that you have to make, you have to live with on a daily basis, and you have to understand what's the heritage that I'm carrying, what is this organization, what does it stand for, what's the culture around here, how do I carry on the good things, and then maybe the ones that are not working, find a way to cut them off. The Standard Group, like you said, is the oldest media house in this region. It has heritage, it has culture. When you talk about Africa being the frontier, the next place where everybody in the world will be looking to, some of the places that they have to look through is the media in these places. So the Standard Group has got to be the one that they look at and see, this one tells us the story of what this continent is all about and the aspirations of the generations in this continent. So it's got to, I'm sure you have that pressure that you've got to make sure that this thing survives.
Yes.
That this thing does not die. You're not doing one of those jobs where you've come to shut down the organization.
No.
It's not euthanasia.
No, I'm more a mortician for
You're not a mortician for this particular organization. Yeah. But then there's a lot that's changing, like Ndu was saying earlier. So you're seeing the media landscape is changing. The consumption habits of the consumers are changing. The advertising habits of the traditional advertisers, when you're at Cadbury, when you're at, you are advertising in a different way than they are advertising now. And you've got to find a way that the Standard Group still fits in that. The political landscape keeps changing. The government now says, well, how do we advertise through the media? We have to have different ways of advertising or even different ways of paying the media. So there are very many things that are changing in this landscape. And you have the role of making sure that the big media house does not collapse so that the other small media houses also survive. Okay. Then 100 days. What do you want us to ask you? Because we'll invite you here for after the 100 days, after the 3 months of you sitting and doing the deep learning, and after you've learned, what do you want us to ask you?
Eric, let me first address that. What the burdenness, because then I want to live here with less burdened. Because I also have an objective. The thing about turnarounds is that there's people who may leave the business or who may join. But what I've found in the many times that I've done this sort of work is just to give people dignity. And dignity is in many forms because it means different things to different people. People just want to know, to have to be told honestly, and also to be given some humanness. I want to claim it like as women we do have that humane way of doing tough things, but we do tough things and leave people feeling dignified. Because the last thing you want to do is destroy a man, destroy a woman, destroy a family, and leave them with no option but to just stay down. So they need to just rise up 8 times if they've fallen 7. But then in the next 100 days when I come back, I would like to just share the priorities, the situation, and the hope around the space that we are in, even now, and what is to be done, and what I've gathered from the deep dives into what the actual situation is. And the root causes and how we will address them. Not long conversations, but what would be the top 3 or top 4 things that we will do. But even as I'm here, I'd like to ask for support from these corporates, all the stakeholders, to allow the business to thrive, to allow the business to stand up. Because we are going into sports now, so don't knock a man when they're down. Just let them stand up, because when they stand up, the whole society will benefit. This company that's been here a long time, when we stand up, the entire society will benefit. So when I come knocking at doors of the corporates, of banks, all the people who we interact with, I will be hoping that they will see us in that light, that our intention is to rise up and to rise up strong, and the whole society will benefit. So that's what I would come and say in 100 days. And they can start doing that now. I'm don't have to wait for 100 days.
Already?
Just already support us.
Brian Wiseman says, I like her already.
Yes.
Brian Wiseman says, I like her already.
Yeah.
Now, speak to the other stakeholders, because we have got the advertisers, you've got the other partners who have worked with this organization, who may be sitting back and thinking, from what we are seeing in the media, in the blogs, what we are seeing about this organization, we are just not sure how to engage with this organization. What do you tell them? I know you've just passed on a slight message. Now speak to them directly. What would you like to take the major stakeholders that have supported this business over the very many years?
Is to tell them the lights are on, and we want to switch. They're not switched off, because intentionally not off, and we do need that extra. Is it leniency or just
grace?
Grace, yes, grace. I like the word grace. You know, the biggest leader and the leader that I emulate from is it was Jesus himself. I mean, he was like a fantastic leader, allowing everybody to be who they are and still calling them to a message that we still believe today. Just give us grace, trust that we want to succeed. I have had a history of great success. I wouldn't have come here by error. I evaluated this decision, and people also trust people, but. This organization is going to rise. And for the other advertising agencies, come, let's have conversations on how we can work together, even now, on helping, on coming together a giant. A giant doesn't fall quietly. So you don't want us to break the whole floor and nobody can walk afterwards. So let's come together. My office is open and really open to people who want to come and express frustration, but also who want to move forward to another era or another era, depending on where you come from, of sustaining and doing the right thing, correcting the wrongs, keeping what is good, and taking another corner or turning around the bus to another destination.
The government is a big stakeholder.
Yes.
Not address the government directly.
Yes.
Government owes us money.
Huge.
A lot of money.
I suppose the government is also in a situation. I have. I said earlier, I love my country, so and I love my government, because the government also needs to be successful for all of us to be successful. So I also empathize with them. So I ask them also to empathize with us in many ways, including what you've mentioned, Eric, but also in just allowing us our freedoms, allowing us to be the voice of society in the way that we want to be, and knowing that when they also do well, we do well. So we're hoping the government also does very well.
We are also applying that 1,000-day principle here, because there's a word that Kenyans use, kuzoeana.
Right.
If we let that 1,000-day lapse and we do not communicate to all these people we deal with, and the issues that we have are not communicated, it'll be lost in time.
You're right, City. And that's probably why we do a roadshow. I'm going to top stakeholders as soon as they're mapped, to say the same things I'm saying to you today, and to be consistent in the amount of resilience that we've built, or I have built, or the company has, because of being here for such a long time. So it will not lapse before some action is done, and if it's painful, it will be with dignity. Yeah.
Lamek says, if, like you said, the shop is open, it means that there's something to sell. Yes, indeed, there is something to sell.
Yes.
And he says, good luck to you. Many of the comments that have come in wishing you all the best and saying, yes, the 1,000 days, the journey, it's a tough job that you've taken, but you decided, I want to get in there and find out what the issue is and see if I can do it. All the best.
Thank you very much.
See you back
Eric.
here in the next
100 days.
no 93 days. You're on your 7th.
Yeah, 93 and a half. Because the morning is gone.
Yes, the morning is gone.
Yeah.
Marion Mwangi is the group CEO of the Standard Group PLC. She's given us our first interview to introduce her to the public as well. And keep it here for more conversations. 9 a.m.
Spice up your life.
Good morning. This is the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira. Businessman Jimmy Wanjigi has said that President William Ruto's regime is out to finish him off following the recent raid on his Muthaiga home by heavily armed police officers. Speaking in an interview with a local TV station last night, Wanjigi alleged that the attack, which linked him to possession of assault weapons including hand grenades and tear gas canisters, was a sign that the regime intended to kill him. The Safina party leader also referred to a past raid during former President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration, saying that Ruto and his predecessor have a hidden animosity towards him.
There are very many ways you can arraign me in a court if I've done wrong. If there's anything you can find that I've done wrong, I think it's a question of the two presidents, former President Uhuru Kenyatta and the current President William Ruto. Here we are with two regimes creating criminalities to get me. This is them who fear me. You should ask them why they fear me.
A Kenya Power and Lighting Company employee has died after tragically falling off an electric pole in Nyakach, Kisumu County. Jackson Okoh and his colleague were carrying out routine maintenance on Tuesday afternoon when he fell on his head. Upper Nyakach Assistant County Commissioner Darwin Orina, who confirmed the incident, said Okoh was rushed to Nyabondo Mission Hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival. Orina said the police are investigating the incident. In Homa Bay County, police are investigating an incident where a 68-year-old deaf woman was killed by unknown assailants who attacked her at her home in Nyagitha area on Monday night. Wilkista Odanga's body was discovered on Tuesday morning by one of her relatives who had gone to check on her after she failed to wake up. The deceased relative said Wilkista's inability to hear and speak exposed her to danger since she could not raise an alarm for help during the attack. Wilkista, who was a widow, had been living alone. She had marks on her face and is also believed to have been raped. Education stakeholders have continued to urge parents to embrace the new higher education funding model, stating that it will alleviate the suffering of students and transform the education sector. Speaking in Mumias, the Vice Chancellor of Masinde Muliro University, Professor Solomon Shibairo, said the new model guarantees equitable access to higher education while maintaining financial sustainability.
The idea here is to inform wananchi and show them the benefit of this formula. It is the cheapest, the most affordable than we have ever had. A good example, for somebody doing a Bachelor of Arts, where the program is 122,000 gross cost, a parent only pays 5% of it, which translates to 6,125 per year. Divide that into two, the parent will only pay 3,000, compared to the old formula, where you needed to come with almost 40,000.
Professor Shibairo managed to convince these parents to embrace the new funding model.
Sasa vile tumepata hii maelezo, najua tunataka kama inakuwa ya manufaa tupate hii loan, itatusaidia watoto kuendelea na masomo. Kile kitu tulikuwa hatuelewi, wanasema mpaka lazima watoto wakuwe na vitambulisho. Na sasa tumepata habari mzuri, akiwa hana kitambulisho bora akuwe na ile certificate ya form 4, anaweza tu kuapply na apate hiyo HELB loan.
Mtoto wangu ameitwa Masai Mara University lakini hajapata kitambulisho cha Kenya. Either awe na kitambulisho ama maisha kadi. Lakini vile nimeelezewa, nimeridhika kwa sababu waiting card ya national ID ama KCC result slip na index number atatumia ku apply.
Iran has dismissed calls from the UK and other Western countries to refrain from retaliation against Israel for the killing of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran last month. Amid a flurry of international diplomacy to de-escalate tensions, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer urged Iran President Masoud Pezeshkian to stand down its ongoing threats of a military attack in a rare telephone conversation on Monday. But Pezeshkian said retaliation was a way to stop crime and Iran's legal right, according to Iranian state media. Israel, which did not say it was involved in Haniyeh's assassination, has meanwhile put its military on its highest alert level. The US has warned that it's preparing for a significant set of attacks by Iran or its proxies as soon as this week, and has built up its military presence in the Middle East to help defend Israel. That's the Newswire. I'm Edwin Lisamira.
If you go out of this country and come back the same person, then you have a problem. Buy land, 1 million. Put it there for 5 years. What's the purpose?
It'll have increased in value.
No, that's the thing. That's darkness. That's an eclipse. You don't do that.
I hope you don't believe that hustler is a poor person or that all hustlers are poor. I've seen that conversation.
Tell us, who is a hustler?
So who's a hustler? Hustler is a person who is making a living through hard work.
Corruption in Kenya is a political accusation. The people who are actually corrupt are not pointed fingers at.
Kenya is not free. Kenya imeshikwa na mateka. It's under siege.
Have you seen that lodge on Nyeri Road? Very high fence. You can't even
Windows
sleep inside.
up near the ceiling.
Yes. And if you walk there at midnight, you see bats the size of cows.
And when it rains, it doesn't rain on that building.
Yes.
When you're at All Saints and it's raining, it doesn't rain on that building.
The things people will believe.
The Situation Room, Kenya's biggest conversation.
94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
All right, at a few minutes after 9 o'clock, traffic still busy in some parts, but most, I think, we're getting through it. Survey through towards that Pangani underpass. That's where we'll see the last of traffic for this morning, likely. Landis Road is busy, going towards Haile Selassie. I beg your pardon. Yes, Haile Selassie. And Aerodrome is also busy. This Ngong Road today has been a bit crazy. Still continues for a while, but just let's keep an eye on that and see how it gets us through the end of traffic hour. SpiceFM KE on X, hashtag The Situation Room.
Patrick Lodge, Otieno Lumumba. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
CT Muga.
CT Lodge.
Muga, not Muga.
He's here, and here's the day's proverb.
One man marries a woman. Another man marries troubles.
Is he the same man?
Spice.
A lion cannot eat more than 2 donkeys. It will die a natural death because there is no ICU in the forest. In Kenya, it has become the situation that you cannot conduct 2 elections. In fact,
with the same
Bukati,
IBC.
You can't.
I tell you about this Indian friend of mine who was enjoying other Indians in the group. He wrote the word valve and told them, read it.
So how did he say it? I really want to know.
The valve. Because kina Ednah, it's the, like you said, the bees and the peas. Kila kitu mkisia kisema atasema opposite.
Opposite?
Ukisema hii anasema opposite.
Opposite.
Wewe ukisikiliza na unasikia opposite.
The Situation Room, Spice. The only way to start your day. This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have CT Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Okoh, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latiff, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Mic is up, yes. On to the final hour of The Situation Room. How you doing? Asante sana for keeping it locked. 14 minutes after what?
9 o'clock.
No, it's only 9 minutes after 9 on the 14th of August.
I was wondering, I have to look
I was wondering. It's 14 minutes, not 14 days.
Into August.
Into August.
Okay.
Sawa. Kuna comments kadhaa hapa vile watu wanasema all the best to Marion, right? Yeah. She's come off as likable, somebody who understands what's happening, and somebody who is keen to turn things around from an honest perspective. Yeah. We all wish her all the best. Sawa. Sawa. Uhuru nipigia bwana Ruto. Nikatafuta Ruto. Tukasema tutengeneze Kenya. Sawa. Our next conversation is going to be about what we are seeing now in terms of e-mobility, but not just mobility, urban mobility. We have the ride-hailing apps. There are many. Some are locally developed, some are multinational, they are operating in Kenya. The thing is, all the drivers are Kenyan. And all the charges and the fares are basically people in Kenya who are hailing these apps. Now, which works, which one doesn't? There's one in the market called Ednah Cabs, and we're joined by two people. Nelson Kisiangani is a Chief Technology Officer at Ednah Cabs, and Michelle Laura Mwangi is with Business Development in the same organization. Good morning, Nelson and Michelle.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to the hot seats of the Situation Room.
Thank you.
Mko sawa?
Tuko sawa.
Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Hapa si handshake. Ni phone call.
No. Hapa si handshake. Hii ni National Government of Unity. No, what is it again? Broad-based National Government of Unity. Okay. Yo.
Tunakula mkati ya Broadway. City will welcome you with the day's proverb. But before he does that, now that we're talking about, urban mobility, it's important that we always know about our healthcare, and how well we are do. Please tell them.
How about getting a checkup before you actually get on the road, isn't it? So with the vehicle all the time. And you can say, you can actually do this for your health. Once a year, go in, get a checkup, make sure that everything is in place and in order so that you don't run into problems later, right? Just basically making sure that all the nuts and bolts are screwed on and tightened and that all your health needs are met. The Aga Khan University Hospital says come into any of the centers, do it for 9,950 shillings. Everything that you need to check, oil, okay, blood, pressure, all those things.
Gasket,
shock absorber, ball joint, especially ball joint. Check all of those brake pads. Yeah, you need to change the oil filter, things like that. Come in and do it. You need it to make sure that you can, groom nicely.
Properly.
99.50. Do it. Get all the tests that you need. Make sure everything is working well. Healthcare, so that you don't have a health scare.
Kabisa. City, why don't you give them the day's proverb?
Yes, our proverbs for this week are from the Central Africa Republic. If the sun claims it has power over the moon, let it shine at night.
Repeat.
If the sun claims it has power over the moon, let it shine at night.
Michelle, what's your interpretation of that proverb?
Can you repeat it, please?
Oh, most definitely. Ikiwa jua. Okay, no. If the sun claims it has power over the moon, let it shine at night. But Eric, we should have asked them about the landlocked countries first. But anyway, if the sun claims it has power over the moon, let it shine at night. By the way, you can't be wrong. We just want your interpretation.
Okay, probably. I think if something claims it's better than something, then it should be left alone.
I love that thing, man. Yes, if something claims it is better than something,
leave it alone.
Kabisa. That is an all-encompassing interpretation.
I know where she's heading.
Yes.
If Ednah Cabs claims it's better than the others,
leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
And your ear.
Nelson, what's your interpretation?
Yeah, I think the sun shines best during the day, and the moon based during the night. So my interpretation will be maybe we are all good in some elements. So, and everybody shines at their particular time. So, you see, there was a time for others to shine. So, this is our time to shine. Eden Cubs.
Yes. It's night time. Eden Cubs is out. Full moon. What is Eden Cubs?
So, Eden Cubs is a ride-hailing application. Basically, we are a platform that connects drivers to customers. And something unique about Eden Cubs is the first application in Kenya that is local owned, locally developed, and everything is locally. And we are dealing with our own local people. And we are here now to take care of both the drivers and the customers in our own unique ways.
What do you mean local owned, local developed, everything local?
So what I mean by it is locally owned is all the directors are Kenyan. They are here in Nairobi. They are the ones overseeing daily operations of Eden Cubs. The application and the whole ecosystem has been developed here in Kenya by Kenyan developers. Our youths are the ones who are powering our systems. And, we have a lot of Gen Zs in those, the coding aspect of the application and the back end. So everything has been done here. We are not a foreign application. We are Kenyan.
You say you're the first?
Yes, we are the first Kenyan. I mean, everything Kenyan.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you the only Kenyan so far?
So far, we are the only Kenyan application that is in the market.
Are you sure?
So registered in Kenya?
Registered in Kenya.
Headquartered in Kenya?
Yes.
Everything Kenya?
Everything Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
City?
Well, I just asked if he's absolutely sure. It's nice to claim you're first. Meaning number one.
Please refer to Michelle's interpretation of the proverb.
Yes, even if.
If you claim, just leave it.
Niwache tu hapo tu. Michelle,
if the sun claims.
It is.
Then
Michelle, mahali imefika.
Yeah.
I'm going to take your perspective na nitawacha hapo.
Thank you.
So, how old is this company?
We are 2 years old. Most of the operations started last year. Of course, putting up the infrastructure, setting up the location, getting the customer support team in place. So our main operations are started this January, where we started a campaign for driver onboarding. So we are complete with that phase of mobilizing drivers to our system. So we feel like it's a high time now. We now look to the customer side so that we get jobs for these drivers that are waiting eagerly to start serving Nairobi customers from their homes, from their offices, to wherever they want to go.
Yes. What gaps do you hope to fill in the market that you see currently and saying, okay, well, with another app, with another hailing app, that there's this problem, that Eden then is best suited to fill or to take care of?
So the biggest gap in the market when it comes to ride-hailing applications has been the drivers have been looked down upon. It's like, they don't have a say. They don't contribute to decisions made by these app companies. So we are here to make drivers part of our partners, so that whichever decision we make, they are at the center of our decision making. So instead of just taking care of the customers only, we are now taking care of the drivers, so that when a driver wakes up in the morning and ignites that engine, they know very well that they're going to work, and that work is going to earn them a better living, so that we all dignify this space. So we are also doing driver training sessions, whereby now we try to enlighten these drivers on the best ways of conducting themselves on the road while they are serving our customers, so that we reduce those elements of, we have complaints about your drivers and whatever. So we are here to listen to drivers. Whatever drivers want, if we feel it is for their best and also for the best of our company, we will implement and we will make sure we collaborate with them closely as we move forward.
But how is that different from what we've heard from everybody else? Everybody says that they're looking after their drivers and they also are looking after their customers who use the app, right? That we are here to make sure that we support this ecosystem and our key stakeholders, the drivers, are very well taken care of. We conduct driver training. This is what the other apps have told us here. We conduct driver training. We have regular meetings just to get feedback from the drivers. We support our drivers whenever there are issues. In fact, we even go to an extent of supporting drivers to access credit for getting into business. What's the difference between what we have heard before and what you're saying this morning?
You see, there's a very thick line between saying and action. So others might have said it before, but that action bit is not in place and drivers don't feel it. So for us, we are going to walk the talk. Whatever we promise drivers is whatever we are going to implement. So drivers will be seeing real action on matters that we promise them that we are going to do.
Michelle, when we talk about like your drivers, because you're right now in that phase of onboarding drivers, what is it that you're telling them? Why should a driver have the Ednah app, and then why should I have the Ednah app and use it?
Okay, we have some driver benefits on the Ednah cabs. For example, the low commission of 10%. We have clear complaint resolution. We have instant M-Pesa withdrawal for non-cash trips. We have fair pricing. We have free bundles when they stay online for the drivers. We have system calculated bonuses with Ednah cabs. So we have a lot of things that we usually tell them while we're onboarding them.
And these are unique?
Yeah, these are unique features.
Let's start with the first one. What did you say? The is it the commission?
10%. Yeah. I'll pass that question to my colleague.
Nelson, explain this commission bit. Because I think one of the things that drivers complain about is how much they end up with in their pocket after they've done a ride.
Yep.
Yes, now we are introducing something unique about the commissions. So our commissions will be dynamic. By dynamic, I mean one day a driver can wake up and they find maybe it's very rainy. So you see, that's a very harsh weather conditions. So when you're operating, you are doing the hard work for us. So during such days, you'll find that our commission is 2%, 3%. Then now we have days that, everything is okay. So we take our 10%. So the highest we'll go is 10%. But based on the conditions of the weather and the day, because you are the ones, fetching, you are actually the ones doing 100% of the work. We are only providing the platform. So why should we take 30% from your earnings?
Let me ask this question.
Yes.
We are talking commissions, we're talking percentages here. And I like the thought that you've mentioned that you're considering the conditions with the drivers' work. Well, let's start with, first of all, fuel is one of the things they complain about greatly. I speak as somebody who uses Ubers not regularly, daily. Okay?
Yes.
They complain about fuel.
Yes.
Okay. Then the commission, yes, they do complain about it, but do remember that on rainy days, you have more business than when it's not raining. So, I'm simply saying the dynamism you've mentioned covers what I'm saying. But are you also telling us that you have had discussions with people who are in this business, and some of the things that you're saying are things that they would like? Because it is one thing for Ednah cabs to have an idea, but it's another thing for the people who are your partners, the drivers, to also have a similar idea or not an idea. So my question is, have you had an occasion to know what these drivers would like, and is this what that you're telling us you have applied?
Yes, now we have had driver engagement sessions, and during those sessions, we give them a chance for them to raise their concerns and how best they wish our platform to work. So some of the advancements and the features that we added to our application is as a result of those meetings. So from those meetings, we gather issues that drivers really want, and then now we field, of course, discussion with the management. We agree on things that we can implement, and those that we can't, we try to explain to the drivers on why or the reasons we can't implement them. So something else is that we have our own internal WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups for these drivers, where we communicate to them on a daily basis. So we get to hear their real-time experience while they are using our product. So whatever they suggest, we actually appreciate, and they are the ones who have shaped our application to where we are today. Because for us, when we were starting, we had a different idea of, how we wanted to operate. But during the meetings, they usually say vitu kwa ground ni different. So we found that vitu kwa ground ni different, and we had to adjust our system.
So if I get you right, you're saying that the highest commission that Eden Cabs will take from a ride is 10%.
Sure.
But you will go as low as 2% depending on conditions.
Sure.
What kind of conditions are these that would make you take so much less and give the driver so much more?
So it's not about taking less or giving the driver much. It's all about valuing those who work for you. Because in this business, for lack of a better word, I will call drivers our stock. Without them, we can't even get those rides. Because you can have 1 million customers, but you don't have drivers. So who will serve them? So that's why we want to take good care of them. And you see, if you are facing some hardship in the field while, doing business for us, why should we not, appreciate you and just compensate you for the good work you are doing for us? So it's not like on a daily basis we'll be taking 2%. No, those occasions are fewer compared to brighter days. So when you do your maths well, you will find that, you are still making profits, and drivers are also earning some good amounts at the end of the day.
Is it clear which days or what kind of conditions would make you lower the commission?
Now, those conditions are not fixed. We can't even predict them, but they are dynamic, just as I mentioned. So you see, just the feature for Surge, the way Surge operates in the applications. When demand is high, automatically Surge switches in. So the same way our systems monitor when weather conditions are bad, or some other conditions will need human intervention. Yeah, if we have demos or such kind of things. So they're not fixed elements that we know that on these days we'll be taking 2%. No. Those are things that will be triggered by the day's weather, the day's situation. So some are system preset, others are just, we need to insert them manually.
The thing that you said is a constant here, that 10%.
Yes.
Iyo, haitapita.
Iyo haitapita.
Well, that is something to know, which is good.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a ceiling. But let me ask a different question.
Yeah.
The business you're in is replete with other people who are doing what you're doing, and some even claim some of the things you're claiming. The litmus test is those who consume that particular product, either as drivers or those like me who consume it because we onboard taxis on a daily basis.
Yes.
Now, what is it that you do or you plan to do as an entity when there are conflicts that you have with drivers? Because this will rise. At some point, there will be issues and drivers will not be happy. It will rise. what are the things that you plan to do when these things arise? Or do you have a mechanism that can sort out the matter before it gets to a point where perhaps people are downing their tools?
Now, you see, as a company, we have policies, and some of those policies are complaint resolution policies, both from the driver side and the customer side. So our application even has a mechanism of you reporting or giving out complaints to our company directly. So, and those complaints are solved based on their severity. So there are levels that will only be solved by the customer support. There are other issues that will need escalation to the management. If it's a development issue, that issue will be escalated to the development team. If it's a support issue. So for us, we plan also to have continuous driver engagement so that if they have any issues and they feel like they have valid reasons, because you see, drivers are not correct on every element that they raise. Some are very legit. Some are, technically, if you analyze them, they're not things that we can easily implement. But because of that continuous engagement, we are able to have a conversation because there is nothing that can be solved via a conversation. Okay. So during those engagements, we'll be able to communicate with the drivers and make sure that, whatever they need, if it's something that we can do on our own, we will. But you also need to know that some of these things are acts of parliament, are law. So there are some things that at our level as a company, we can't do. They need intervention by various
policy and regulatory environment.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We come back with this conversation shortly. You can, in the meantime, go to your App Store or Play Store and download the Eden Cabs app, right?
Sure.
Okay. What's it called? Eden Cabs.
Eden Cabs.
And what color is this? Is this purple? What color?
It's purple.
Is this the color of... That's purple?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's purple. I'm looking at it and I've downloaded it. So you'll see it. Go search for Eden Cabs and you'll see that purple app. Download it. Let's talk about now the customer on this second half of the conversation. Right? We've looked at the drivers. Somebody's saying they haven't had any interaction. He is a cab driver and he's wondering, mnasema mnatuongelesha wapi bwana? I'd like to talk to you. You'll answer that as well, right? So Nelson Kisiangani is the Chief Technical Officer at Eden Cabs, and Michelle Laura Mwangi is the Business Development Officer in the same. It's a first Kenyan-owned, Kenyan-developed, Kenyan-run, Kenyan everything, Kenyan-based ride-hailing app in this country called Kenya. Download it and let's try it out.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your...
Good news for the soccer lovers across Kenya. Very soon your lifestyle will never be the same. Crazy memories of the lively football matches.
It's happening every week.
Introducing the new season of the English Premier League football matches.
Another gem of a goal!
Starting on the 16th of August 2024, exclusively on SpiceFM. Catch the upscaled, heart-throbbing season's football commentaries from the ever-zealous soccer commentators and presenters. EPL, Soka Katambe, only on Spice FM.
What? My head is aching, shoulders paining, and it's like I'm adding weight very fast.
Now, by the way, see, I thought you are... Nilifikiri umefanya ile kitu.
No, I know what you are thinking. I'm not pregnant. Not now.
Na kwani you haven't heard about Aga Khan Hospital? They have a wellness program.
Aga Khan University Hospital has made medical checkups more available through their subsidized wellness package at 9,950 for a comprehensive medical checkup. Don't wait for a health scare. Do your health check at the Aga Khan University Hospital clinics in your neighborhood today. Get your vitals checked today. Call 0111 011 888 for more information.
The weather with Spice FM.
Cloudy conditions continue in Nairobi, 17 degrees, highs of 25, and we'll see highs of 24. In a sunny Nakuru at 18, at 16 and sunny in Nyeri with highs of 22, while at 16 Eldoret will be sunny through Wednesday with highs of 24. It's sunny at 27 in Mombasa, and at 29 Malindi is sunny as well. It's a hazy morning in Kisumu at 24, going to highs of 29, and we see the same haze over Kakamega skies, going to highs of 29 and lows of 16. Sunny at 24 in Kampala with highs of 29, while at 25 it's sunny in Dar es Salaam with highs of 29 and lows of 22. A sunny windy morning in Johannesburg at 12 degrees with highs of 19, while Mogadishu at 29 will go to highs of 30. It's 17 and cloudy in Addis Ababa with highs of 20 and lows of 11, while Lagos will come down to lows of 24, highs will be 30. 21 and sunny in Kinshasa with highs of 32. 32 and partly sunny in Beijing Wednesday afternoon with highs of just that, and we'll see highs of 27 in a mostly cloudy Paris at 20. It's 19 and cloudy in London with highs of 25, and in New York Tuesday night 21 degrees and clear, coming into Wednesday highs of 29 and lows of 20.
Spice FM. Spice up your life.
All right, Uhuru Highway will take on a lot of the busyness that comes off of Ngong Road via then Valley Road, Haile Selassie. And also looking at traffic still continuing, just a little bit left on the Thika Superhighway as you get towards the Pangani Underpass, and Kiambu Road is almost done with traffic as you approach Muthaiga Square. We've done well this morning. Let's do it again tomorrow and through the day as well. Talk to us, SpiceFM KE on X.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
To 10, our conversation with Eden Cabs continues. Nelson Kisiangani is a Chief Technical Officer, and Michelle Laura Mwangi is the Business Development Officer. So you told us a lot about what you're doing to for drivers. Maximum commission to Eden Cabs 10%. It'll go even as low as 2% depending on the conditions. You have a lot of training, and what else have you talked about, Michelle? The other offers to drivers?
We've talked about fair pricing. Mm-hmm. We've talked about system calculated bonuses with Eden Cabs. Mm-hmm. We've talked about referral programs. Mm-hmm. We've talked about clear complaint resolution. And we've also talked about instant M-Pesa withdrawal for non-cash trips.
What does that mean?
That means if the customer is not able to pay with cash, the driver can be able to withdraw immediately.
So you pay by card. When you pay by card, it goes to not to the driver, but it goes to Eden Cab.
Yeah.
Then you'll now be able to credit their wallet. Yeah.
Sure.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So their wallet is credited immediately, and they're able to go and withdraw that money. If they needed the money for fuel or whatever, they get the money instantly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is different from the others?
Others are also doing the same, but for us it's free withdrawal.
It's free withdrawal.
Yes, we're not charging you any amounts for withdrawing your cash. So if you have 500 bob in your wallet,
TOA 500.
TOA 500.
Very good.
Yes.
They also talked about something like you have free access to. Is it free Wi-Fi when you're on the app?
Free bundles when they stay online.
When you stay on. What does that mean?
So that means being a new app company, you find that we are also doing marketing. So these drivers sometimes they say online they only get one request.
Yeah.
So we are just compensating them for instead of you using
keep
your
app
bundles,
on.
Keep your app on. We'll give you some bundles to make it happen.
I see.
Yes.
So now come to CT. Make CT start using Eden Cabs on a daily basis. What's the advantage?
So currently, the advantage will be we're working on reliability, so that Eden Cabs can be reliable from wherever you are. Mm-hmm. That's why we started with the driver campaign, so that we have enough drivers to take your rides. Now, as a customer, when you download Eden Cabs, the first benefit that you get from us is you receive 30% off for your first 5 rides. So
first 5 rides, 30% off. Okay.
So after the 30% on the first 5 rides, we have various planned promotions and offers that will be going on. We are introducing what we call vouchers. So if I give you a voucher of 500, that means once you end your trip, you are able to pay 500 of part of your fare using that voucher, and the remainder you clear the balance. If the trip is below 500, then the amount is deducted, and whatever remains is carried forward to the next ride. So we want to make customers feel comfortable. We want to, of course, this is a long-term thing that we'll try to achieve, so that when you get to those cars, you feel like you are still in your own car, because some people avoid the cabs because of the car conditions. Maybe you get into a car, there's some bad smell, or the car is not super clean. So we are partnering with some car wash, whereby we'll be giving drivers discounted service rate, so that their cars can be kept extremely clean while they are taking the cabs rides. So
when City gets into a cab, you'll find a clean cab.
Yes.
At all times.
At all times.
Okay.
Yes.
How many drivers do you have on board now, and in what locations?
So currently we have slightly above 5,000 drivers within Nairobi, and we are pushing those numbers. In the next 3 months, we should be above 10,000 to 15,000 drivers within Nairobi.
So do you see, one of the things that really attracted a lot of people to the cab hailing apps was that the prices were significantly lower than a conventional taxi, right? Traditional taxi. Can you see that still occurring with Eden cabs today, where people are saying, okay, yeah, well, I can hail a cab and the fare essentially is more affordable for me and I can do it more times than usual?
Yeah, sure. The rates are very lower than the normal taxi services, because let me give an example of maybe going to the airport from the CBD with a normal booked taxi. You will pay not less than 3,000 bob to get to the airport, but with Eden cabs you will pay even half of that amount, 1,500 to 1,800 to get to the airport. So when you compare the traditional taxi services to the ride-hailing applications, the prices are still very lower compared to the previous ones. So, of course, there are a lot of dynamics. Like currently, something that is trending is, drivers are striking, demanding for increase in the rates. So that's something that we are following closely, and it's a discussion even with the government entities. Once we come to an agreement of a lowest capped price, then we will also implement. But currently our prices are very fair. We have 3 categories of vehicles. We have Eden Economy, we have Eden Standard, and
the engine capacity.
Yes. So you find that vehicles with 650cc to 1000cc, they fall under the economy category.
Okay.
And their rate is 35 bob per kilometer. So from there, and they can actually carry a max of 2 passengers. So if a driver gets more than 2 passengers, then, that's not their trip. Then we have now the Standard. The Standard, these are cars that fall between 1,000 to 1,500 cc's. And they can carry up to 3 passengers. And their rate currently with Eden cabs is 40 bob per kilometer. And then now we have the Eden Excel. Now these are cars that have a capacity of 6, 7 and above passengers. And for those with Eden cabs, we are charging 65 bob per kilometer. So you find that even if you are traveling as a group, it's still cheaper than you using the normal taxi services.
The older ones.
Yeah. So even if these prices are increased, let's say even to 50 bob per kilometer, still that fare will be cheaper than you just going to take a normal taxi driver. Yeah.
Nelson, were you involved in developing this software and the app?
Yes.
As a CTO?
Yes.
This is basically part of what you led in development of.
Sure.
Why go into taxis?
Now, this was the idea of the directors. Then now from ideation, then now he came in to help, come up with a product and develop it to, to standards. So, you see, these directors, they also used to use Uber and Bolt. And most of the time, they used to hear those complaints. When you are having a ride and you get a friendly driver, you will have some talks.
Most drivers are friendly and they like talking.
Yes. So
I speak as somebody who talks to drivers every single day.
Yes.
Yes.
So you will hear them complaining, this and this, this and this application, we are really suffering. So from those complaints, and so these directors, found that there's a gap in the market when it comes to ride-hailing applications. Customers are well taken care of, but drivers are not well taken care of. So ideally, that is where the idea came from, and we put things together. We started development, and here we are. So and we hope to carry that idea, the original idea, why Eden Cabs was.
And not the others.
Yeah.
So what was their brief to you? They must have told you, so this is what we have identified as the gap, as what is missing in the market. And we want you to develop an app that addresses, that responds to this need. What does that need?
Yes. Now, you see, for the application, we have some standard features that we can't really, formulate, or we can't reinvent the wheel. For example, Google Maps.
Yep.
That is, that's something that is fixed. We can't start doing our own thing. So there are these special features, especially for the drivers, like the dynamic pricing commission for the drivers. The direct withdrawal into their M-Pesa wallet at no cost, so that they also feel like they're at work. So there are so many other features that make up the taxi app, but those three were the main elements. When we were on the table with them, that we want an application that will take care of both sides, both the customers and the drivers. Yes. And it is our system is very dynamic. Some things we have already switched them on, others we are still waiting for, as we advance, then we introduce them into market.
So how far into Kenya will you spread? So major towns, major cities around the country, will I find an Eden app cab?
Yeah, now our main launch area was Nairobi. So we have done a good job in Nairobi. We feel like in the next few months, we will now start moving to other towns. So our next stop will be Kisumu and Eldoret, so that we also cover the western region, and then now move to coast to cover now the coast region.
Something is happening on the 17th.
Yes.
What's this?
Yeah, we are having an event on the August of 17th, or from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It will be at TRM. It's an event basically to also engage with our clients. It will be a fun day because we'll also have activities. Our clients also have opportunities to meet famous influencers like Tilia Park Bro, get chances to win gifts, like free rides, promo codes. Yeah, it will be a fun-filled day. Everyone is invited, so the more the merrier.
So you just come in there and we'll see there'll be a setup.
Yeah, there'll be also live entertainment. It will be a filled fun activity day, in short. Yeah.
Okay, apart from the fun and games, what else do you expect? Why should I
come? The gifts. The gifts are one, and also can get free rides depending.
Why do you decide to do this event? What's the importance of such an event?
We wanted to do this event mainly to engage with our clients because kwa ground now watakuja and we'll show them how to download the app, how to use the app also, and also interact with them. You know, it's important also to interact with the clients, know how they are feeling about the basically to hype up Eden Cabs. Yeah.
Okay. So this is on the 17th.
Yeah, this Saturday.
That's Saturday.
Yeah.
On Saturday the 17th, TRM basically just come there and engage and interact and learn more about Eden Cabs. If you've got some concerns so far, you can ask them. So it's open to customers and drivers.
Yeah.
And potential drivers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the something that I've heard from cab drivers who use other apps is sometimes there's a glitch in the app. You are traveling from one destination going to another, and you already know what the cost is. You are caught up in a jam. Then the glitch occurs. And then suddenly, the cost that you first saw and the cost that is now being presented is completely different.
And the glitch only occurs on the cost. It doesn't take you from Nairobi to Kisumu, nothing like that.
That also occurs.
Okay.
But I'm talking about what I've experienced, because this one I've experienced.
And it's just about what changes is the price.
Price changes. I'm still going to where I was going, but the price has changed.
Okay.
Okay, it's
and
a glitch.
Same car?
I'm in the same vehicle. I have not moved from
Even
the
on
vehicle.
the app is still showing you that you're in the same vehicle.
In fact, forget the app, it's my phone, okay?
It's showing you in the same vehicle.
It's showing me it's the same vehicle,
and you're in the
everything.
same direction,
Yes.
heading the same location.
Yes.
But somehow,
Yes.
bei imepanda.
Yes, that's one. There's another one that also happens where I have paid because I never leave a cab until I am certain that they have received the money. Okay? Then, a while later, I'm informed by the app that
you didn't pay.
Yes, the previous payment I made was not complete, so they have actually taken some of my money away. Okay? I'm explaining something that I have experienced. Okay? Being a person who is not cantankerous, and the amounts I consider to be minuscule, I let it slide. Okay? Now, talking to cab drivers, their experience was completely different from mine. I've spoken to several, and they said what they experience is that they then get paid less. Okay? And yet here I am in my mind.
So the glitch for them is lower pay.
Yes, for
the
me.
The glitch for you is higher
they
pay.
They asked me to pay more.
Glitch for you is you did not pay.
I didn't pay fully. And I'm thinking, what do you mean I didn't pay fully? I paid. Okay? So, the question I'm asking is about glitches.
Yes. So you see, these are this is technology, and sometimes it's not 100% perfect. That's why you have humans to interact when need be, you know. So sometimes there are glitches, they are real glitches, but sometimes they're not glitches, you know, because, for example, what you said about, you know, you have getting an estimate of 1,000. When you get to your destination, you have to pay 1,300. Sometimes that is normal because we are charging per kilometer per minute. So if this driver, you encounter some traffic somewhere, or, you know, but just something happens and you take more time than what was expected, because when the app estimates your price, it estimates based on the current condition of the roads and, you know, everything. It's Google Maps. So Google Maps will tell you, based on the current situation, you need to get to town in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Somehow you get to Nyayo and jam is there,
happening.
you know. So you take, instead of 30 minutes, you are taking 45 minutes. Then per minute pricing switches in. You have traveled the same kilometers, yes, but you have taken more time than what was estimated.
So that responsibility falls on the shoulders of the passenger.
Yes.
To pay more.
Really?
Because they don't have,
because,
how do they control that?
Because they've created the jam.
They didn't create the jam. So how do you then take the responsibility of paying?
Let us be fair. Assuming you are using your own car, and you know, your fuel consumption, maybe you estimate to, you know, to 1 liter.
Wacha amalize alafu sasa nini.
Continue.
So you get to Nyayo.
You get to Nyayo and there's traffic.
You had estimated it's going to be 2 liters
to
town.
Yes. So you end up spending 3 liters. that is more money than originally what you expected.
Okay.
So in this situation also, the driver is spending more fuel to get you to your destination. So just to be fair and also, top up something. And in most cases they are not. We are charging 5 bob per minute. So, if you stay there for 1 hour, which is abnormal, that will be 300 bob. So in most cases, it's not supposed to be very huge difference.
Does the app not recalculate the route? So at the beginning of the trip, it was looking at the condition on the road to my destination.
Sure.
And it saw that this is the fastest route. If something happens en route, does the app not use the same maps to recalibrate and go to the nearest shorter route? So that the driver still uses the same amount of fuel.
You see, we have all used Nairobi city, and we know that there are situations that you can't change a route once you are there. So situations that a driver can change a route, and most of these drivers, they will just suggest to you that, instead of us using Nyayo, let us go in, use South B, and then it will take you shorter time. But there are situations that you find yourself there and you can't change. Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. You have to continue.
You have to be that
So
and you miss the expressway.
Yeah.
The hold on a minute that I was trying to put across was on the subject of fuel.
Yes.
Unless the vehicles and the partners you have are really genuinely old cars, most of these vehicles switch off on their own. I'm in the car, so I see. I first remember the first shock I had. To him, Kwani, this thing is off. He said, no, it switches off. Then when I depress the thing on the accelerator, it'll switch on again. So the thing of fuel, Toa. Okay.
Now you see, you are taking an assumption that all drivers are using those kind of vehicles.
Toa. Some switch off. So that story, Toa.
So, but what about time? This person is also spending time.
And you think my time is not important?
You see, in that situation, the driver is at work. You are comfortably being driven. So why should the driver suffer on your behalf?
If I wanted to take that amount of time on the road,
it would have worked.
Yes. Or if I knew there was a jam, I would ningechukua pikipiki.
But sincerely, those situations are
the point that I'm trying to make, I think you understand.
Yes.
I am saying that I like it when you said it's dynamic.
Yes.
The dynamism of the situation is such that there are times even I have been in a cab and the guy is following a route and they're telling me, I don't forget that app. This app doesn't know that route. See, I am the passenger. Yes. Follow this route. Okay? It's better. And the good thing about drivers, they follow the route.
Yep.
You go along, say, how do you know this route? Say, I've lived in this town longer than you, that's why. So
I know better.
I know better. So I'm simply saying the dynamism that you mentioned and the care that you take in always being alert to the changing situations about the work, to me that is a good point.
Yeah.
Yes. But the app and some of these issues, the way in which you can communicate some of these things to your customers, as in like myself, is also important.
Sure.
Final question as we wind up. Someone is asking, how do you vet your drivers? How do you onboard your drivers?
Yeah. Now, first of all, before we approve you as a driver on our system, you must comply with the other agencies' laws of Kenya. So you must have a valid driving license. You must have a valid PSV badge. You must have a valid insurance, PSV insurance. And your car must be between 2014 to 2024 year of manufacture. And then we need to see your vehicle. You need to take a photo that clearly indicates the number plate of the vehicle and the number plate indicated on your insurance, plus the number plate indicated on your inspection. So all those things should match. Once they match, then we have our partners that do the background checks for the drivers. because the drivers also submit their good contact. Once our partners have verified that you see this driver is clean to go, then now we approve the driver on our system. After approval, now based on the number of drivers, we call these drivers in batches of 100, so that we just do some small engagement, train them on how to use the application, and also just to confirm that, whoever we have approved on the system is a real driver, and, he has all the qualifications after approval. Yeah, so that's the journey map that we use to onboard our drivers.
Okay. So once again, you can download this app, Eden Cabs, on your Play Store or App Store. On Saturday the 17th, go to TRM, where Michelle, Laura Mwangi and team will be there. They'll be having an open day. You can engage, see how you can use the app. There'll be things to win, right?
Yes.
You can even win free rides on the day if you just show up there at the TRM. Thank you very much, Michelle and Nelson Kisiangani, the CTO at Eden Cabs. And thank you for tuning in to Kenya's biggest conversation. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing. It's 10 a.m. Have a lovely day.